Alright, 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 alright. Let's see if we are live. Alright, we're Gucci. Hope you guys are having a great morning. Cat had me up at 3:30 in the morning. Little jerk. What's up, Collins? How you doing, buddy? What a frustrating morning. I need to adapt and overcome. And how do I adapt and overcome? I think I'm gonna lock myself in a room. And the thing is she'll just scratch at the door, so there's no getting around that. Man, I got up at 8. I feel like for me, my ADHD is so horrible. I need more than 8 o'clock to 9:30 to come up with a game plan. Even though I already know the price action that's going on with the few that I'm watching. I don't know. I gotta go do some anyway. All right. So I want to say, real quick. Let me get my charts so you guys can see them. Let me show you guys something. Here. I want to say we're going to get a bounce. All right, for a few reasons. I'm going to give you one main reason why I think we're going to get a bounce. But I'm not sure because it's like I feel like what's going on right now is we don't have a reason to extend to the highs because we're not in a period of growth. We're in a period of contraction, right? We should expect things to slow down. So we can sit in this 400, 410 to 450 range for a long time. We could even, if we get 380 and you do not buy anything, that's on you. I will be starting to nibble on prices if we dip below this. We start gapping below this 200-day moving average. All right? See, already, look at the ADHD going, and I'm starting to get off track of what I was starting to talk about. But just wanted to say that, side note. So we are literally right at the area of like 417, 416, where your Fibonacci retracement lines right up from the COVID low. Let me make sure that I'm pretty much there, as close as I can get it to. I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to show you something more because we have some bullish divergence, and I wonder if we're going to get the turn today into tomorrow, and maybe into like Monday or Tuesday. The only thing that I don't like about any of this, is every single earnings from big cap tech that has been decent has been getting sold off. Meta, good earnings, sold off. Microsoft, good earnings, held, sold off. That was what I played yesterday. I was short Microsoft yesterday. It's got to be this over here. So it doesn't have to be exact, but you guys can see what we got going on here. And look right where we stopped. Now, when I lined it up this morning, wherever I put it, it was damn near perfect. Okay. So 479, 480. Where do we have this? Let's see. But whatever. So you guys see what I'm saying. So we're at that 23.6 fib retracement. Where do I see bullish divergence? I'm going to show you guys something. All right, we'll take off pre-market data and after hours. I want you guys to look at this. I want you to look at this and what we got last time. Look at this MACD. RSI. This is what's helping you extend to the bullish side if we're able to. I'm just worried. I'm telling you right now, I'm a bit worried that we may not have many buyers. We're getting good news. We have Ford, GM talking about deals coming. Like, things are starting to... Good news is starting to come around, and the market's like, we don't know yet because we're going to back test this move. You have some bullish divergence here, and I pointed this out this whole time when we were pulling back, right? I pointed that out. Pointed this out. Now, with the lower RSI, that's going to allow us to extend, right? That's going to allow us to extend a gain if we do get some buying. think the other thing that the market, so I think the two things the market is more so worried about is the government shutdown, but more so the government shutdown is what is to come. What is to come, because we're not in a period of expansion. We're in a period of contraction. So how is the market going to make new highs with that? How is the market going to make new highs when treasury yields are where they're at, and money managers can get risk-free duration, like in the treasury markets? Sorry, grab my coffee. I started to cough there. So that's all. The reason I'm worried, like the only bullish scenario that I have is how we made a new low yesterday, and we put in. See, this did put in a lower low. So, our volume is up here. We know that. So I would like to see a bounce. Let's see what we got. I'm going to give you guys my levels. Pretty easy, right? Pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to look for a bounce off of yesterday's low and see what we do around yesterday's low and yesterday's close, which would be like Monday's pivot low, right? So I want to see what we do in this area. This area is like 417, 418. If we get to 420, I will be short, and I will get time on it. I would think about that. Let's look at Meta this morning. All right, that's why I haven't looked at Meta yet either. Why is my charts doing this? Man, it's frustrating. How you been doing, buddy? How you been doing, Collins? Has everything been all right? I appreciate all the likes. You guys are great, man. I really appreciate it. I need to stop doing what it is that I'm doing it and get better and start to do things. I hope all has been well with you. What are you watching today? That's what's up, man. I'm happy, bro. I've been a little frustrated. Not like crazy frustrated, like nothing serious, but I seriously sat and watched ARM for like 3 days. And like semiconductors, I was watching them and they weren't making the moves. And what did they do yesterday? They literally made the move yesterday, and I wasn't watching. I watched them for a week and a half. And sometimes that's the best way to do it. I feel you. I feel, buddy. The thing is the market's been giving it to you, and I would suggest that. I would sit there, and I haven't done it for some reason for like the past month or so, but I would just trade the SPY and kind of just not really need a game. Not that I didn't need a game plan. That's wrong way to put it. Let's see here. Let's see what we have with Meta, guys. Let's do this. But it was, you know what I mean? Like I was watching ARM, I was watching AMD, and they weren't doing anything. I spent like a week and a half watching them, and they made the move yesterday. I'm like, of course they did. Of course they did. I took my eye off of Spotify. That gave you a really nice setup. That's the thing with like some of these stocks that I'll point out. You guys will notice that they're going to give you a really nice setup intraday. Like they'll put in that initial low, they'll bounce, they'll break that low, and then they'll bounce back to that previous low and reject it, and you get short there. Like some of the names that I call out for a reason because of the way that they trade. Right? I've been around them long, and I've been around this stuff for almost 10 years now. Like I know how a lot of these stocks trade. Like CRM. CRM is another stock that you can trade when that trade is on, that it will put an easy bullish or bearish pattern in front of you. How you doing, Chris? I hope you guys are doing good. I wasn't going to do a stream today. I wasn't. Because I'm the type that's like, all in or all out. I'm just like, I feel like I've been losing, like, I don't know. I just need to get my maybe I'm not taking, I think it's more so I've been frustrated with the way that I've been trading, and that's really it. I wanted to do a watch list last night, and then go over the Microsoft trade and kind of why I felt this and that, because I watched something really good that I think is really important about like when we're all in trades and you're thinking about what ifs. What if, right? And they related it to, well, we could walk outside and what if we get hit by a car? We can he had named these so many different things. Like you could go out and go jog in the winter by the river and you'll get sick. So it's either do you jog and stay healthy or do you not jog and worry about getting because you're worried about getting sick? Do you eat fish, fried fish, or do you not because it could lead to long-term cancer? No, you still eat it because the good that it has is worth that risk down the road. So it was kind of like what he was saying literally related to that Microsoft trade yesterday because my stop loss was going to be at that double top yesterday. And I took it. It gave me an extension. It paid me. I took it. I should have stayed in it. That trade went well over 100% by 12 o'clock. I don't know if any of you guys watched the numbers on there. I think I got in it. I got filled at a high level, at a high number too. I watched the contracts go to the high 50s, low 60 cents. I got filled at 82 cents. I looked at them. They were at like 171, 180. So that trade was over 100% yesterday, which was a good call. We got in it kind of early. So we got 10 minutes to the bell. So Meta is pulling back. Let's see this looks like a good trade here. Let's see what we're going to watch the overall markets and see if we can get our bounce and see what we do at yesterday's low and yesterday's close on the overall markets and see what that does for Meta. If the markets start to reject, if the SPY rejects yesterday's close, look what we have right there. We have the 100-day moving average, right, for Meta. That's one idea, right? Yesterday's low, yesterday's close right here. But it's like, and that's also the pivot low from Monday. That whole area is what I would watch, is that consolidation area. All right. I would more so watch 418.05 if you reclaim it. If we break above 418 and hold it, then see what we do at 419, 420. I'm really curious about this 419.50, like this area right here at 420. This 420 level is where I'm going to be watching to see, like, are we going to drop below, are we going to drop this level? This level's huge, right? If you look at the daily chart, this level's huge. This is why I wish she didn't wake me up at 3:30 in the morning so I could have been on here earlier, right? Look where we're at, guys. And this is your 23.6 fib from the COVID low. So if we drop back into this area, we have a lot of consolidation here, which could hold us up, right? We spent a long time there. So there's like, you could just get a bunch of chop and the market wouldn't, like the overall market, like the SPY and the Qs wouldn't really move. The Qs could, because the Qs aren't really at this level yet, I don't think. So I would watch. If we start dipping below this level, like it's going to be on, I'm telling you. It's going to be on. You're going to start seeing risk off if we break this level and get some continued downside, because you'll find yourself starting to fill these gaps here. There's a gap there at 399-ish, 401. You have another gap here at 395. So you could just get like a down day and you come in the next day with a gap down. You could start getting that extension, right? If you notice, you know what I mean? We consolidate, drop, consolidate, pop, consolidate, drop, consolidate. What are we doing? Right? What are we doing? So consolidation, drop, consolidate. What are we doing? Are we going to drop or are we going to go higher? We haven't tested the 50 days since early September, but Meta, right? So the SPY can bounce, get to the 200-day moving average, and then Meta is the same way, but it also has the 100-day moving average right at yesterday's close also. So it's all going to depend on the market. Look, Meta's right there at the 100-day moving average. So if we look for that bounce back, then we can see if the markets reject. If they do, we'll get short. Meta can be an idea, right? The earnings weren't bad. They were kind of good. They could watch spending. So let's see what we do here on Meta at the 100-day moving average at 299, 300. All right. I'm going to look for, because we have Amazon earnings. We still have PCE data. I'm just not sure if the markets want to give way. So it's not, I wish I could tell you, I can tell you where I would take Meta to, right? I can tell you exactly where I'm going to take Meta to, and it's going to be down here at this 275 level. It's going to take a while. It'll take a few days to get there, but let's see here. See, that's really all we have. That's really all we have there. Let me go to the daily chart. This market's getting ready to open in 10 minutes, guys. Good luck today. If you guys want to post what you guys are watching, if you guys come across anything that's moving, like you see some relative strength, relative weakness, you know, throw it in the chat. So you have a really nice support level here at 290. 289.50, 290 area is where I would look to get Meta to. That's where I would look to take Meta down to. It's a really heavy support area that I would look to retest. If the market's going to give us further downside, I'm going to look to take Meta down to 290. The upside, it's pretty easy. You have yesterday's open. You have this 310 area that's been key. Hold up. Shit. So there's your range for Meta. I mean, you have room to 306, but we got to see what this market's going to do. So I'm going to set, my charts should be already set up. I fixed my charts, so I shouldn't have to worry about that. Let's see here. Oh my God. All right, we do have, all right, it's 9:22. We're all right. Okay. What am I doing? So, yeah, I'll probably focus on the S&Ps, the overall market. We have Amazon earnings, but I just don't know how, like, none of these earnings are holding up. None of the earnings have held up that have been good. So, Netflix was holding up okay. Holding up okay. So, this is a pretty, again, this 300 level on Meta. If the markets are going to pull back, I'm going to look to get short Meta. You know, it had decent earnings. That's why I don't like to do that, but it is what it is. If the market's going to sell off, this is one of the higher names. If they're going to take risk off, they're going to look to take Meta at where it's at. That's a nice gain, right? So that's one. We can look at Google also. It's gotten beaten down so bad. I think you got to watch trying to short Google. I do. I think you got to watch short in Google. I would just see what it does with yesterday's levels and the 100-day moving average, right? I would look at that 100-day moving average, and look, it's already rejecting pre-market highs, guys. It's already rejecting pre-market highs. Trying to, right? Look at those tails. So Google, see what it does at 124.50. If you do break above it, look for the pullback on Google to take a long back up to into yesterday's price action and up to the 100-day. That could be a trade, right? That could be a trade. Watch 124.50 on Google. If it breaks above it, if it's able to break out and go higher, like out of that pre-market high, just look for pre-market highs to act as support if it's going to go higher. See what energy is doing, to see what the market's going to do, if energy is going to continue higher. The Qs are struggling here at yesterday's low. I'm going to look for this double top at 348, 347.85-ish on the Qs to act as support for the Qs if we get a pullback. All right, that'll be this dotted line here, if you guys can see it. Boom. And then we'll have to watch. Keep your eyes on the dollar. I would keep your eyes on the dollar to see, and the euro, because the euro is going to tell you if the dollar is going to be strong or not. So there are the Qs, the SPY, Google, Meta. I would watch. You know, you could watch semiconductors, but they made that move yesterday. You like the IWM? I like the IWM too for shorting. That's going to give you some. What people don't know is like the Qs and the IWM. If you ever want to go short, the IWM and the Qs is the way to go. I wouldn't short the SPY. It's more. It has things. The things that are in the SPY doesn't really allow it to pay you as much as like Chris said, like the IWM or the Qs. Um, I know someone who doesn't short the SPY, a fiduciary, well, an RIA, um, who doesn't short the SPY. He will short Qs and IWM, or grab puts, or get short. But so yeah, let's see here. What do we have? I haven't looked at the IWM. Have you guys seen the equally weighted S&P? It's down so bad. Like the IWM's getting ready to make a new low. I told you guys about this, right? It chops. Remember early on when I started this channel about the IWM? It's risk on or risk off. It'll tell you, you know, it tells you a story. Like when it's just sitting down here at lows and cannot go higher, it's going to bring the markets down. It does. And you notice when this last week when we started to get that strength out of the IWM, remember how everybody was talking about the SPY, like, everything was kind of good, right? Like you were starting to see a turnaround and there was a glimpse of hope, and then nope. What are you thinking with the IWM? Are you thinking long or short? I would assume you're thinking probably short. Watch also, guys, transports. Watch transports. Look what, remember what I showed you guys Sunday night? This gap is 20-some percent. This is a tool that I know a lot of institutions use. That is your support level. So if you can get a limit order on UPS short, you might want to think about it. I might think about it. Right? They report earnings, I think, today. Yeah, I think they report earnings today. But transports are getting hurt. They're getting murdered. So that's not good. You're going if transportation continues to come down like it is, you're going to see the S&P start to fall. And I feel like the way that we have sold the market off on these earnings that have been somewhat decent, I feel like the market wants to go lower just because we don't have a reason to go higher. Like there's too much worry in the future about going higher. Like I think we could pull it back to 390, 400, and then get a bounce back to like 420, and we kind of just stay in this range. All right, so all right, sorry. Good luck today, guys. If you guys need anything, just hit me up. Let me know if you guys see anything moving. I will do the same. Keep China stocks on watch because of the liquidity that Xi Jinping is throwing at their system. KW. Why did I always forget it? I always forget it. It's like the K Web. That's right, K Web. K Web. Um, See what happens with these China stocks if they start getting some money. Like, look at this setup. It's starting to bounce here. Let's see if we get another bounce out of China names with the liquidity that's going to be brought because of Xi Jinping's. And there we are. We're just touching yesterday's low on the SPY. Why did I put it there? Why did I put that there? All right, guys. Looks like we could take a watch pre-market highs if you get short. All right, good luck today, guys. There's the bell. I'm going to turn the news, I'm going to turn the thing on. Give me 1 second. All right, we have minor support here at 415. Oh, man. My AirPods dropped in my lap and hit my nads. Fuck, that hurt. All right, so what I'm going to watch for here, guys, is if the SPY cannot get back above 416. It looks like it struggled here. All right, it looks like it's struggling there. Look at the selling stepping in there. I'm not in anything yet. Not in anything yet. All right, so we are pushing up into yesterday's low. Just trying to get my chart straightened out, guys. It's doing it again. So when I have OBS, so what I can do is, it'll go to the very bottom of my monitor and cover all this up, but it's not letting me do it, I guess, because the OBS is on record. Look at that tail. Pay attention to that, guys. Did you guys see that? Look at that really quick rejection off of that support level. Here it goes. It should break it. It should break that level now. After a dip buy like that, we're going to break that high. There it is. There's the test. Whoever just tried to get short there and get Q probably just got hurt. That's why it pays to be patient. Look at that consistently green volume. All right, so we're pushing into that level right now. We're getting up into it, right? 418. What's Meta doing? Let me pull up the 15-minute chart real quick. All right, so there we are. We're pushing up into yesterday's. Oh, it looked like it on a 15-minute. All right, here you go. Now here's going to be the test, guys. Do we hold that pivot high right there to go higher? This is our determining factor, I feel like. We made this area here support at 416.50. All right, this whole area, boom, 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 boom. You held it flat. Of course, I hate this. You guys already know I hate this fucking mouse. So now, do we make pre-market highs support? So far, it looks good. It may pull back a bit. And that's okay. All right, know where VWAP and everything is. Here's what we're going to get again. You're getting 9 EMA from yesterday, and VWAP going to start converging. Right? You're going to get it to converge. And you could make a move here about like 940. What is this, 3 minute? 942. Is this a 3 minute? Okay. Starting to break below it, guys. All right, so that didn't hold. Is that going to hold? This is going to be... Nope. There it is. There's the rejection. Let's see. Remember the price action you had off of here. Or right here. Remember that price action. Boom. Do those buyers just step back? Let's look at Meta. I'm going to go back to the charts and probably... I'm going to look at Meta real quick. And see if we can get... Come come on, 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 come on. Oh man, Meta already made the move. Look at that. Meta already made the rejection off of it. Shit. I would watch. So I would watch that. Oh, it's starting. Looks like it's starting to reclaim it now. Nope. Right here. There's your resistance level at 290. I want the markets haven't really picked a direction other than to the upside. If Meta goes, I'm fine with that. I can't take Meta here. I can't take Meta and get a bounce back, and then, I got to get the bounce backs. It already, you had to have taken it. I'm going to keep my eye on it. It still might be early for it, right? It still could be early for that trade, but I can't take it. All right, so there's a bounce back into yesterday's lows on the SPY. This is a low volume, guys. This is a low volume pullback. I hate that Thinkorswim. If anybody uses Thinkorswim and you know how to get this thing to stop moving the candles and volume and shit, I would love to know. I would love to know, to be able to set this thing up so it just doesn't move everything on me and just stay where I put it. I shouldn't have to turn to different things and it can change like it does. Alright, there's a rejection off yesterday's lows, guys. It's pretty easy to see where we're headed. I'm gonna look to get down to like 420. I'm gonna have to look at it again. I'm buying a new mouse today. I'm buying a new mouse. Well, we're going to have another red day, it feels like. Those 414s were good as gold, man. Was anyone able to get an entry up there? Or even here, it still wouldn't have been bad here either. Now that's it, guys. Like, there's your rejection. If you're going to get short, you got to get short. Why I say that, this is the final stop right there. You did get some real buying in down here at 414.80, but still, look, you're 2 points away from there. So this is the area I was looking at that was like the final destination. Right here at 416-ish. Because here, if you guys notice, we had this bull flag. Right? You had this nice little bull flag. You pulled out. Bang. There's your buyers. Right there at 416. Boom. You see that? There's a pattern to be said there. I wonder how many people got stuck short. But watch. If we crack this level and test it, like, that's it. This is an area where you should expect a bounce. You should expect a bounce there, right? There's your bull flag. You bounce out, pull it back, rally. Whoever was long from that area in futures, pre-market, they probably just took their profits at yesterday's um, low. And there you go. There's resistance at 416. I'm really curious. I really want to get short. I do. Why is all that on there? So what I'm going to look for is there's a rejection at VWAP. I'm gonna take a short right now. I'm gonna put that on. I don't like it because this market could just get ripping to the upside. It could. I'm not in anything yet. See what I mean? Just like that. And there's there's the rejection level. Now I'm gonna put it on. I am in. I don't like it. Fuck. I don't look. As soon as I get filled, it rips. I gotta get out of it. That's gonna be a loss for me, and I can't even get out of it right now. Shit. Damn it. Yeah, I got hurt on that one, guys. You gotta be kidding me. Dude, they just got me. I knew it. I had to put it on. It is what it is. I had to put it on. And watch, because it's going to continue. Alright, that's a... Dude, I can't get in and out of these positions quick enough. Look, is it going to pull back? I've been sitting here trying to get out of it, and now it's pulling back. Keep pulling it back. Alright, I took it off there, guys. That's a small loss. That helped a little bit. It'll probably go further. This market's going to whip around. Now, I'm going to watch to see if we can take a long. I think this market wants to go higher, guys. I do. I do. I think I'm going to wait. Now we're... See what I mean by the blasting up? I have no idea, Vito. I'm still trying to figure that out myself. I can't tell you what to do. That's the problem. That's what's wrong with America. If I could tell you right now, I would tell you to go buy treasuries, but I can't do that. Or I would tell you to go buy any stock that you see that's like a decent company of a decent market cap that's on its lows. Like, you know, I would tell you to go buy it and hold it. You know, it could go to zero. You got to do you got to do a little bit of work and whatnot. But all right, so there's your bounce off that pre-market lows. Looks like it wants to go higher. Wait. I don't know what's going on. Why my stuff was acting so slow. I don't like that. I could have just gotten saved from that short. It's all good. That's a small loss. That's bigger than I wanted it because I don't know if... I should have only lost... No, it was right. It was right. Okay. All right, let's see. Are we going to... Okay. What is trading 212? What is that? I'm not sure what that is. There's a lot I can recommend, but just wait till I'll go over a couple things. Just let me get past this early market movement and focus on that real quick, and then I got you. Just give me about an hour. Thank you. Wow. I guess we're going to sit. I would wait and not do anything if anybody else is out there because I feel like you might get a consolidation. You're going to get this push and pull from the markets. I think the overall market wants to go higher, though. I will say that. I think the market wants to go higher. Let me turn on this squawk box. I want to see what time is it. It's 9:45. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a line here for the low of the day, right? And then I'm going to put... I should have held that short. Shit. And then here's the high of the day. So let's see if we break out. Let's see if we can break out of the high of the day. It's not going to. It's not going to. That's a failed attempt to get higher right there. Hold on. It's going to have to do it here very soon. Look at the volume falling off on the sell side. I would recommend though, Vito. I would watch your volume, and I would watch price action and how I would learn like levels, like support and resistance, right? I would first learn that, and then I would personally, there's a lot that I could say. Under like try and learning the sentiment that you're in. Oh my gosh. So here we go. See how we reacted off of that level again? That's the second time we bounced right off of it. See how that price action just went boop? See that tail? And then this tail, as soon as we got there, it quickly jumped. It tells me that this market is like wants to go higher, but it can't for some reason. And it's not there. They're not there anymore. So what that tells me is they're probably nibbling. You asshole. Oh man, this market's going to play tough. So now we're going back down to the lower end of the range, guys, which would be the low of the day. I can't believe it did that to me. It is what it is. I put on the risk. I just talked about it this morning, I put on the risk. It is what it is. It didn't work out. All right, so let's So the Qs are making new lows, guys. The Qs are leading to the downside. So let's look to be short tech names. Let's look to be short tech names because the Qs are leading to the downside. The Qs just bounced off of pre-market highs. So let me show you guys what I'm looking at here. What the fuck, man? I'm gonna snap, bro. So down names are strong, right? The Qs are down here. The Qs are down here. The Nasdaq's down here. So if you're like like CRM, right? CRM's one. It's probably strong a little bit. It's starting to sell off now. Home Depot. So what I'm saying is I would look for these names. Look, that's a nice rejection of the 200-day moving average. That's a nice rejection there. I would look to be long down names if you want to be long anything, okay? And then I would be short tech, like Snow. Like, look at the Qs. I showed you the Dow. Here's the Dow. Right? There's the Dow. It's still sitting up here, right? Still sitting up there. The Qs, QQQ. The Qs are down past that level, right? They're past pre-market highs. It's pre-market high. It broke it. So what would I look to do? I would take like Snow, Meta, right? Like look at Snowflake. Snowflake's down here. I would look to get. I want to be short technology names. The Qs have broke, so that tells me the SPY should break also. It could find support down here, but man, this is brutal. So tech is getting sold off. Do you guys have any tech names that you guys could suggest? Google getting sold off. I don't want to get caught in anything. I need something that has room because everything got sold off yesterday. I guess I don't want to do Meta. I hate Thinkorswim at times. I really do. All right, there's a 100-day rejection on Netflix. All right, you could probably start to see Netflix pull back to like 411. That would be a nice few dollars on Netflix there. Pull back to 411, yesterday's close. Dude, why is it doing this to me? And Meta's making new lows, guys. Meta's making new lows. Fuck! I swear, man. I swear. I really do. I really do. And there it goes. The market's gonna fall out of bed. Motherfuck, man. Meta is coming into a bit of support here. It's got room down to 275. 275 is where I would look. I had the levels up, I thought, on Meta. I feel like my day's already over. I feel like my day is already over. Unfucking believable. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Alright, CRM is selling off. It could get down to like 190. I don't know if it's going to give you that type of move. It's just got relative strength because the Dow is holding up. I'm going to try it. See what I mean? Look at that double bottom. You broke the double bottom here at 196. Oh, man. I feel like my day's already done, guys. I do. Unfortunately. And now the volume's coming in. Couldn't hold that SPY short. I'm going to try for CRM short. Alright, I am short CRM. Just watch if this market bounces. I'm going to try and hold on to this. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. I guess I'm just going to watch this one right now. I was thinking about CRM yesterday. It had some news a couple days ago. I think it had a downgrade or something. It may bounce back up to this area here. Does have a, yeah, it's a low volume. Let's see what happens with it. So I'm going to try and hold on to this one and see what happens here. The Q's just bounced off of pre-market lows. I feel like this on the daily chart, it doesn't look bad. It looks decent. This looks pretty decent. Right? If we look at the volume from yesterday, the 2 days that it got bought back up, pulled back. It had a big day yesterday, so it may be hard to get like a day 2 continuation out of it. But you know, I think this thing does have some room. You could get a couple dollars out of it. It's got room back down to 190. See if I can get it back down to yesterday's low. So I am in CRM right now. See what it does for me. Um, you do have some buying right here at like 195.99. So all right, I got filled on CRM on a limit order, guys. Shit, that's why I got filled. All right, cool. So that just eased up my loss. Wow, that just eased up. I just took half of that off, so I'm gonna hold off to the other half. Now I'm just trying to get back what I lost on the SPY. I'm almost flat on the day. I'm almost flat on the day. I'm almost flat. Now I see why I got filled. We're going to have buying right here. So I think you're going to get a bounce. And I bought the lows. So if this thing bounces back, my contracts are going to be red. So this is what I would tell you, Vito. Right? Looking back at yesterday, what do we see? Look at this. Look at that buying. Look at that volume. Right? Where's that volume at? 196. Okay, well that broke. All right, where's our next volume? Where bounce. Bounce. All right? Every time you got a bounce, look at that volume. Right? Look at them nibbling. Boom, boom. Right? Here. Not so much there. Right? But you have a lot of volume right here. See that bounce, guys? That's why I exited that position right there. Right? Some of that stuff's going to take time, but unless... It does not even that if it takes time, but other people, unless you're not explained things like that, like understanding like areas where you can catch a bounce, and if it just cracks through here, like the Qs are still to the downside, you can just ride this thing short. But I would watch, because I feel like if the money is leaving technology, where's it going to go? It's going to go to Dow names. It's going to go to healthcare, right? Like let's look at UNH. So there's UNH, and look at it going higher. It had an update yesterday. It pulled back. Now it's going higher again. So you're seeing technology. You're seeing it go into like safer names. Seeing it go into down names. So Apple's pulling back. I can't believe I missed Meta, man. Oh God, I gotta get better, guys. I gotta get better. I gotta get fucking better. I don't know what has happened to me. I think I might have just started to take on way too much, and I don't know. So Tesla, technology name, right? Tesla kind of does its own thing, but I can't believe it. I was short this market and I got taken out. I got taken out. I got taken out, guys. That's crazy. Oh man. I want to see what we do down here, guys. If we can start to bounce. I don't think we're going to. I need to find. That's so crazy. Oh my God, I think I'm gonna get sick. Did anybody take the short and not get and didn't get whatchamacallit? Look at that double top. I gotta watch my ADHD. It really messes with me. It really does. It really does. So right now, I would just see where we can get bounce backs. Okay, so there's a bounce. All right, so let's see here. Why did my phone just cut off? There it is, guys. So I don't know if my microphone was on, but I was telling you guys I was taking another piece. I was gonna take. I have one. I'm just gonna leave one contract on. I took another one off there for 40. I had a limit order for 40 cents there. With a 30-cent entry. I'm just after that red trade with the spy. I'm just getting back and getting green, and getting myself back in the driver's seat here. And look, there we are, getting a nice bounce. So let's reject that level. Let's see here. What's the spy doing? Let's see what the spy is doing here. Like technology is just really weak. Technology is really weak. Look at this selling that should come in here. Man, this is I don't want to be a sucker, man. That's a nice retest. Like, what do you guys think about the short here? What do you guys think about getting that short there? Um, the Qs are still weak. Qs are getting ready to make new lows. I think I'm going to put on another short real quick. That would have been a nice entry on the SPY. Come on. Come on.
BKR, Baker Hughes, providing guidance on their conference call, says expects Q4 revenue between 6.7 and $7.1 billion.
Damn, I spent a lot of money today, guys.
Forecasted between 5.4 and
Fuck.
5.8 billion. That's Bravo Kilo Romeo BKR, Baker Hughes.
Alright, so apparently this screws everything up. Alright, there's some nice volume coming in on the Qs. Let's see what it does here. It's got to get back up through this level. I think you're having a risk off type of day. Look and see what Bitcoin's doing. All right, you have Bitcoin. You want to look at risk names to give you an idea on what is going on in the overall markets. Like, um,
Although the pound 3-week low on the view that maybe the BOE's done.
414. We should get some support. 410. 410 is the level I'm going to be looking for. Alright, let's see here. I'm going to see if I can't grab... They want way too much, man. Alright, I'm going to grab some for tomorrow. I want to see the Qs, see what they do here. I don't want to buy the bottom, but I also don't want to like miss a day where we just sit here. Like, this is a nice bull flag here, guys. This is a nice bull flag we have going on here. Bear flag, I'm sorry, bear flag. Alright, that's a nice bear flag. Alright, I'm going to take it. Nope, I'm not taking... See, this is what I mean. Every time I try to go take something, this market just wicks like an animal, and it just... Wait for the trend line to break. Wait for the trend line to break. We have a trend line here, too, that we can take hold of to catch a reversal. Which I think is what we're doing now, guys. Actually, let's see if you pull it back and start to catch a bounce. Hold on. I think we got something here. I think we're on to something here, guys. I'm not usually one for crazy trend lines and stuff. Come on. Where? Okay, right there, and then there.
We'll talk about Meta this morning. Despite weakness and softness in the ad market, our next guest keeping his outperform and his 385. Joining us at Post 9 is Oppenheimer's Jason.
I don't know what happened. It just gave me an error, and I didn't know if I got into what I wanted to get into. All right, let's see if it bounces here and can't get above. And can't get above that level right there. I can't believe the SPY fucking got me, man. That's so frustrating.
Meanwhile, as for the revenue growth and the operating margin, is that a reflection of the hard decisions they made?
All right, so the volume on the Qs is starting to, never mind. It just broke.
So clearly the investments that they're making are driving engagement, and then you can see the revenue numbers, right? Obviously coming off of the Apple privacy changes.
So why's the stock down 6%? Is it really all just on this worries about the ad?
I think it is. If you look at all the other ad stocks today, they're all down, maybe not the same magnitude, but everything.
Like right there would be an entry. Bang, hit that entry. Nope, and then it. Alright, let's see. So there it is. It just tested the flag. See if it rejects right there. See if it rejects. I don't know if you guys can see it too well or not. There's your bull flag. You break out, pull back, retest it. And if you do not pull back, if it does not pull back and it acts like it tries to go lower and then goes back to the upside, that's a failed breakout. I would look to get long. The volume is like so ridiculous though. It really is. How are you guys doing out there? And what are you guys looking at? Is everybody? Oh, we don't have anybody here. Okay, never mind. Take that back. I want to say thank you for the ones that did hit the like button.
They did talk about shifting people within the organization, a backlog of hiring, but
Not sure if Vito's still here. So there we go. So here, and what I'm doing is I'm watching to see what the overall market's doing, because that's going to paint me a picture. I mean, we know since the morning that we wanted to be short tech. We wanted to be short technology names.
it changes the background. It's not creating the digital image yet, but as their medical
It's just still weak. It feels there's just no strength in the cues. So
seconds, and presumably that's the precursor to AI generated ads, maybe back half of next year, but we don't know yet.
I feel like the cues are going to break again. The volume just, what happened is the volume fell off, but I feel like, so is this a failed breakdown? Let's see here. Let's see. And here it goes. Of course. It's just going to consolidate, and it's going to sell off, consolidate, sell off.
by pulling back on some of our promotional offers targeting this segment to remain consistent with our strategy of competing aggressively, but in a financially disciplined way. This means striking what we believe to be the appropriate balance between broadband subscriber growth and ARPU growth. And as we continue to manage this balance, we expect ARPU growth to remain strong and our primary driver of broadband
Yeah.
growth. With somewhat
I got short myself, and then I got wicked out. This is where I got short. Right here. I got short right here. And then, whoop. I'm like, ah, shit. And I did take a short on CRM. That paid nice. Not sure what it's doing right now, but so I can tell you guys right now, Qs are making a new low. Unless the Dow is turning itself around in the IWM, watch the IWM and the Dow, because if they start to turn around, the market is going to turn around. Right now, the Dow is the leader. It's just not going to the downside as much. Well, let me look at the IWM first. So the Dow and the IWM are kind of matched up right now. Right here at this area, and then the Qs are making a new low. They're trying, and it just doesn't feel like it's, it feels like it wants to turn itself around a little bit, but, oh, so it hasn't made a new low yet. Okay, it's not till down there. But it's weak. Technology is weak right now. So keep that in your mind, right? The Qs are continuing with the downside. We want to be short technology names. And even though we had a hell of a massacre yesterday, watch, just see if you can find something that'll give you. Sorry, I gotta use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. Yeah, it is, man. It is. It's like, what do we? I feel like it's making this area was trying to make that area resistance. I just don't know if it's there. I don't know if the continuation to the upside is there. So this could be a failed breakout of the SPY. You could just get some back and forth price action. Let me go look at. Hold on. TLT. TLT is sideways. See, I shouldn't have to go through all these charts and fix them myself. I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't. Yeah, I think we don't really have anything until PCE tomorrow. I don't think. I think we got everything that. Yeah, there is. I mean, you have some treasury auctions, but I don't think it's going to mean much. I just don't think we'll get a surprise. Fuck. Let's go. Let me.
Crude is down $1.67 and $83.73. Gold down $10.60 and 19.
Come on.
Bitcoin futures down 495 and 34,000.
So, Bitcoin is down. So that tells you. Sorry, guys. Just my cat. I don't know. I'm gonna make another cup of coffee and chalk it up. I can't say today was a waste. I could sit here and get frustrated. So look here. Let's see if we can bet. So that's 419. What I'm gonna look for is to see if we're gonna bounce back to make this area resistance. Okay, right there. 418. Let's see here. So I found it. It's like hunting. It's like hunting, and I don't hunt. I am barely green on the day. I took a short on the SPY. I took a short on the SPY pretty early. It ripped higher and I couldn't hold it. So here's what I'm looking at, right? This is the futures. And I want to see. So now if we're making this area resistance, it's going to be an area. So you got to give it a little bit. We broke into it. Does it bounce back, right, to 418? Make that area, again, an area resistance to get to the bottom of the range, which would be like, oh my God, she's driving me fucking nuts. Abby, you got to stop, please. I'm sorry to yell in the mic, guys. I'm sorry, but she's running in here yelling at me like she doesn't have food. She's tired. I'm like, you can just jump up on my desk or do something. She's just yelling at me. She's completely fine. I love her to death, but she's killing me right now. 411. So if we break 418, and you can see how we're sitting here, we're not getting away from this area. In a quick manner, like you're getting a ton of buying that's sitting there waiting to send this market higher. You want to see like a rip, like you see like these tails here, boom, boom, boom. You want to see that, and I don't know if we're getting it. The Qs are bouncing. I just don't know if we're getting that quick bounce off of the area to say, hey, yeah, buyers are here. We don't have it, so I feel like it could break. You see how we're just sitting here? We're just sitting there. We're not dying to get away from here. Nobody's dying to buy it and bid this market up higher, right? That's just a bear flag on a 3-minute chart. So that tells me I feel like we have further downside coming. I think we do. I think we have further downside coming.
Ted, James's legacy, in part, is that, all the articles that are being written today and when he first announced the succession plan.
Come on.
The wealth management side of the business, buying, building.
What is going on over there? So now you saw we're stuck. I think, and you have lower volume there. Let's see here. We're just sitting here.
The street seems to like it. But your experience is in investment banking and trading, and so.
But yeah, again, I didn't mean to yell on the mic, guys. I do apologize for that.
And continue the momentum, especially after Q3.
Let's see where CRM's at. So that was the other trade I took. It was a good thing I got out. I did a little lesson on. This is literally where I had my 40-cent limit order. I have one contract left. It's not going to hurt me here, like if I get out of it now or get out of it later. If I start seeing the market go higher, then I'll get out of it. But I was trying to show you guys, like right here. See how you have all this buying right here from yesterday? Boom, like, and right here, right here. This was the first piece of profit was in this area. As soon as we dropped into a new low, I took my first piece because of why? Because I had this buying stepping in here. But more so, this was the final 40-cent piece, or one of the but this was what? No, this was the first take profit, and then this area here was getting into this low was where I was throwing limit orders out there and getting them filled. My first fill, I was surprised. My first limit, I got filled on this extension down right here. On that extension down, I got filled. So I probably lost a few cents. I could have market ordered out, but I don't know. I don't know how that would have went because I didn't do that. But you can see the volume stepping in here in this area. That's all. That's all I wanted to say. That's why I started to take profit there. I have no idea why this girl is just crying and moaning. She can easily... She's not in pain. She's got food. She's completely fine.
Shares of Royal Caribbean right now are off the highs.
All right, so the Qs are making a new low. You guys see what I'm saying? That's how we read markets, right? We read how the markets react at certain price levels, and how we think it should act if we think the markets are going to go further to the downside or to the upside. All right, so there's. Western Digital. Oh, you know what? What's ARM? So look at ARM. So ARM is still up here. That's crazy. That's the second day I missed ARM. It's so frustrating. So frustrating. Tesla just hanging out, doing its own thing. I feel like you could, if Tesla's going to pull back, it's probably going to do it right. It's going to do it now if it's going to do it. I'm telling you guys. I think you're going to get, there's the breakout. It's a low volume breakout. I feel like it's going to do it. If Tesla's going to give you guys a pullback, it's going to do it. This looks like the area it should do it. Not sure if it will. It's already oversold. Did wonder if Meta got to our 290 targets. I'm going to find something to trade here at 280. All right. Not sure, guys. I can't think of any names. Is there anything out there you guys are seeing that's moving? Could look at China names too. I don't want to give up the day just yet. Come on. Please, come on up here. I'm going to go get a cup of coffee real quick. It's 10:30. Maybe I'll wait on that. Come on. Why are you yelling? Why are you yelling?
This is going to take a long time to get better. It's like change your business model, anticipating something might happen. You need to know what will happen. We've carried
Let's see here.
for 10 years. We have the highest capital ratio of any of the large banks in the world right now. That's for a reason. We've got massive buffers, so it won't change our
Meta.
strategy whatsoever. That's
I could look at Google. Hold on, baby. Please. Hold on. I know you want to lay on my paper. Oh my gosh, I have coffee this whole time. I don't know if you guys can hear her. If you can, just let me know and I'll move the mic from her, but she's just looking at the mic. She knows there's something going on with it. She's really interested in the mic. I know, I gotta use the keyboard. I'm sorry. She's just laying on my paper. Alright, so like I said, I thought Google was a bit oversold there. See if pre-market lows and VWAP start to act as a resistance level for it. The SPY got me. I got to admit it, guys. If the SPY did not do what it did, I would still be in these puts, probably starting to take profit, and held them. What do you want with my fingers? What do you want with my fingers? Goofball. Alright, so there's a SPY. Let's do it. Let's go. This is what I mean. You want to get away from the area pretty quickly. That's such low volume, though. I'm not falling for it. It's a nice double top. I can't believe it got me. It fucking got me. I can't believe it. We are... And we're 0.5%. We could get a nice AC. This is what we need. There we go. There we go. Get everybody bullish, hit VWAP, and reject it. So that's our first test of VWAP today. You haven't really tested it. In the morning, I wouldn't consider that double top a test because you went right through it and rejected it. And that's our first test. So here are trading ideas, right? If you don't know about, like, if you haven't, like, used VWAP as a trade, well, you know, here's a way that you can. So if we continue to make this resistance... it won't let me bring it up. You guys can use, like, if this becomes resistance and we start trailing off, right? You can anticipate, well, I guess we could have already anticipated this area here being resistance, but we're not there yet. Later in the day, like whether it's 12:30, I mean, I wouldn't say like lunchtime. Not that I'm recommending anything, but you get when you get these bounces and rejections, it'll usually do it like 2 to 3 times a day. Sometimes you'll get it to do it 3 to 4 times a day, and you can take those trades right off of VWAP, whether it's to the long side or the short side, right? We have not touched VWAP yet. We just hit it right now on a 1-minute chart and a 3-minute chart. We, as of now, like, you don't know right now if VWAP is going to be a rejection area. We don't know. Let's say if it is, and you sell back off, right? And then here comes 1:30, 1:45, 2 o'clock. You see the SPY starting to meet VWAP again. There's your afternoon trade is what I'm getting at. Sorry it took me so long to say that, but like those are trade ideas and trade setups. If you're ever curious to know what a setup is, well, that's one, right? That's a rejection of VWAP. So like that in a hurry has like given up. So, and I don't know why. I feel like we're under the 200-day moving average, but that should. Oh, and let's send a prayer to those people in Maine. You guys got to stay armed. You do. I'm not here to tell anybody, you live your life the way you want, but you never know when you're caught, when you're just out living your life and you can get caught up in the mix. At least have, whether the government agrees or doesn't agree, there's ways to do things. But, you have the right to fight for your last breath. And that's just crazy. It's sick is what it is. Alright, so clearly a rejection of VWAP so far. Let's see if this resistance turns into support. It just doesn't seem to me like that, like the continuation follow through is there. Right? Maybe it is tomorrow, but right now there's no continuation back to the upside. Kind of just got to hang on the short and take it for just ride the ride down the 410. Just got to take it down the 410. That's what I would do. And that's what I am going to do. What are you doing, Sweet Bean? Yeah, 410. See, futures are already down there. We have a gap here. We do have a gap. Just so you guys are aware, we have a gap in Island Reversal down here at like 414.12. Right here in this area. So 414. Where are we at? Let's see if we get... See, so that's what could be happening right now. We could be having buyers stepping in front of 414, and you're seeing them place the orders at like 414.50, 414.20, and that's why it's taking us forever to get down to that 414 area. And what was the low of pre-market? Pre-market low was around 414.09. So what I'm going to do is I will wait, and I'm going to see if... See, it's just, it doesn't... 414 doesn't really make sense. So if you guys remember 2 years ago, like the in 2022, we were shorting the bounces back to 420, bouncing back to 415, right? What did we just do? 415 bounce, 410. It was like $5 increments. Okay, I'll leave you alone. Okay. Okay, I'll leave you alone. Okay. She said, Dad, I don't want to be petted. You're okay. You're okay. She said, I just want to sit here and lay with you. Alright. Markets are starting to quiet up just a bit. I'm going to scan around and see if I can find anything. And look at the scan. I'm going to pull up the scanner and see if we have anything moving around as well. Small green day for me. Let's see. CRM. I'm probably going to get rid of this. I want to hold it, but I just don't know. The way my contracts are, the way my contracts are set up, if like a next week 195 would have been awesome, right? You could take it down to this 190 level. So here's a second leg to the downside here. It's probably what's going to happen. Might look at. I'm gonna look at Google and Meta and Microsoft to see what they're doing. I'm gonna watch Netflix because Netflix has a really good pattern in it too. I don't know if you guys took that or not. What did we say? That rejection off the 200-day moving average to take you to 409. It's literally what we said. It's literally what we said. I said 411. It gave you $2 more. That's a nice trade. 416 and 410. Meet yourself right in the middle of 411 and 409. Double topped at the 100-day moving average. It's a pretty nice trade there.
Welcome back to Squawk on the Street. I'm Dominic Chu. The S&P 500 right now trying to bounce off the worst levels of the session so far in early action. As you can see behind me, real estate is the best performing sector so far today. Among some of those leaders,
Come on.
Ventus, also Avalon Bay Communities, Crown Castle.
It feels like Netflix wants to roll over though, guys.
The best performing stock in the sector
It
so
does.
far in early
It
action.
feels like look at that daily chart.
The real estate investment
Look
trust
at that daily chart.
wireless communications and data center infrastructure.
Look at that daily chart. Nice job, man. What you do? Trade the SPY or?
Property revenue and a key measure of how much cash flow is generated by
I hate that I have to. I wish I could save these charts.
Tom Bartlett will retire in February of next year and be replaced by Steve Vondran, who currently runs the company's U.S. tower and data center operations. So Carl, AMT up 6%. I'll send things back downtown to you folks at the New York Stock Exchange.
Dom, thanks so much. Dom Chu. Latest GDP data helping cut some early losses, but the Nasdaq is sliding deeper into correction territory.
Oh, and a QQ 344 plus. Very nice, bro. Really nice. Very nice. Dude. Look at that. Was a nice trade. I should have taken it myself. Fuck. I should have taken that VWAP rejection myself. So if we do bounce back to VWAP today, you already got your first inclination that VWAP's going to be resistance. So this sucks. I can't believe I got shaken out of my puts. I was wanting to hold all day. That's what I was wanting to do. Like, that was my game plan today, was to take my trades and hold them throughout the day. Let's see if I can get another bounce on Meta here. What time is it? It's 10:30. Let's see if we can take a Meta short, but it's broken above VWAP. Come on, it's already starting to go without me. There's our nice, that's such a nice rejection, guys. I'm taking Meta. Man, they're so expensive still. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it. But that is a trade idea I would be looking at. If you guys are looking for a trade idea, look, it's trying to reject VWAP right now. You had a nice increase in volume on the sell side. Look what you have here. Right? Look at that. That's a nice rejection. That's a beautiful rejection, guys. That's how it's done. Right there. Right? That's your pivot low. Boop, boop, double top. See if you can take this thing back down to low a day. That's a $5 move. Roughly. I mean, even if you take this thing back down to 284. You know what? We'll do one even better. Let's do this. Let's go to the 3-minute chart.
NASDAQ correction for a moment here. It's not like we're going into another rate hiking cycle, which was the last time we saw the NASDAQ in a big.
Let's see here.
In a big
If we
correction.
take
So what
this.
is actually going on here?
Financial conditions, right? I mean, when financials get tighter, longer.
Look at that. 38.2 fib. Lines right up with it. That's a nice rejection. Pullback off 38.2 fib, guys. Does not get any better than that. Doesn't get any better than that. And the market is probably also starting to pull itself back, I would assume. That could be a double bottom in the Qs, guys. And Meta is at VWAP. Hold on. Let's change plans there. Hold up. There you go. There we go. All right. Let me see here. I'm going to pull up the Qs. I'm going to see if I can get some calls on the Qs to see if I can get a bounce. Man, I just don't want to be long technology. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, we are a bit overdone. I don't know. I can't do it. I mean, I can do it. I'd have to get some time. I just don't know what turns us around. Because I don't think we're at any area that it's not like we're at like support areas. The Qs could continue further down for, like, you still have room down to the 200-day moving average at 339. You still got $4 or $5 left to go. So, yeah, 338. Like,
Up next, CEO of Kenvue. Those shares moving lower on the back of its latest guidance. We're back in a minute.
327. Man. Yeah, I'm gonna go with it's a low volume bounce. I think so what my thoughts are is I think I might go get some longer dated I might go grab some longer dated puts. It's just timing them, right? You want to be in them up here. You know? You want to be in them at yesterday and going into today. I'm going to go make a cup of coffee and I'm going to come back and look around. If you guys have any questions, you guys can throw them in the chat. If you guys have any ideas or anything you guys want to go over, thank you guys for being here. If you guys want to hit the like button, that's up to you guys. It's greatly appreciated. It would help send the stream over to somebody else that would like to be here. I got shaken out of my puts this morning on the SPY, unfortunately. I was a little wuss. Because I just know when you start to see price action really bounce off of a level, and it like today, it ripped to the upside off of the level. And that's kind of a sign of strength that it wants to get moving. Watching price action and how it leaves or rejects a level really can tell you the story on what's going on underneath. Like, it'll tell you the breadth of the market and what it wants to do. Like, the Qs look like they want to put in a double bottom and turn themselves around, but it just doesn't seem like they even really want to. You know, there's just no real strength. Like, look at this volume. If you were putting in a nice double bottom here, you should see, or this is the SPY, you should see buyers really stepping in there. That volume should be higher. Like, look at the 1 minute chart. Like, here's a rejection of VWAP. What did I tell you guys, right? We could scalp right off of VWAP. Well, here we go. Here's our second chance. So 412. No, not 412. I'm sorry. Let's see. 10, 140. Yeah. 115. Or 415. 415 puts. And you could keep your stops tight, right? My stop on this would probably be right back up here. There it is. There's our rejection right there. There it is. Let's go. Oh, shit.
The company cutting its annual profit forecast on softer demand for cold and flu medicines. Stock's down about 30% since, remember, it spun off from Johnson & Johnson in early May. Kenvue CEO.
Yeah, the Qs are making their way up, guys. But I would watch the, see, there's our stop loss right there. Yeah, we're above the, shit. You gotta be kidding me.
The more cautious guidance.
Yeah, good morning, Sarah. Good to see you again. Just to be clear, we have delivered as per
I'm just doing more harm than good, guys. I really am.
for the full year.
I'm doing more harm than good.
The softer start of the cold and flu season.
S&P futures
But when we
moving higher now,
reflect on the quarter,
41.91.
we had
Oh my god, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I did not mean to sell it already. Fuck.
4.7% growth.
I'm back in the red.
We are now part of the S&P.
I'm just gotta stop doing stupid shit. I didn't have a stop tight. I didn't keep my stop to that stop loss tight as it should have been. And I fucking was bringing my orders up. And I clicked it a little too many times. And here we are, gonna pull it right back down. Fucking piece of shit. Wow. I'm sorry to cuss on the stream, but how frustrating.
Household products makers. It's
Alright, here we go. We're gonna get a second leg.
0.5%. So have you reached a tipping point?
I'm still can't trust this market. I really can't.
Yeah, we see our valuation activities continue to hold.
Like, look at this volume, guys. The volume to me is still. Let's look at a 5-minute chart.
Of products we did last year, and some continued softness we see in the China market. So if you accept these two distinct elements, our volumes are holding pretty well in a high earning.
And look, it's gonna fucking pull itself back.
Which was, I think, a little bit disappointing and obviously a big important category. What are you seeing there?
Yeah, we see the skin health and
Be careful.
segment impacted by the two distinct elements I just talked about, the discontinuations we did last year and the softness of the market in China.
Be careful, guys. You guys see what I mean? This volume is
Underlying strength
it's a bit
of our brands.
shady. The market could just go right back to where we opened, and
We continue to innovate. We had a very
you know, kind of just
and now winter
trade sideways until PCE tomorrow, until we get our inflation data tomorrow. I'm sorry, baby. You gotta let Daddy know. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
So we're excited about the innovation we are bringing to market. That's been extremely well received by customers, and we can't wait to see it in consumers' homes this winter.
9 times more hydration, David.
All right. I can't imagine that you, when you drew up the plans to split this off, or when J&J did, that you expect the stock to be down almost a
Oh my God.
in the time since it's become a public company. What do you tell
I am so much better than this. I really am. I am so much better than this. I am so much better than this.
when it was split off?
Yeah, we are transitioning to a new shareholder base. What we are focused on at Kenvue is being focused on the fundamentals.
All right, let me go to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a bigger chart, bigger time frame, and let's see if I can end the day green. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. I have just really, you know, kind of like my life screwed it up.
Another dividend of 20 cents payable in November on top of the dividend we paid.
But let's turn it around.
So that's
Let's turn it around. Is it ripping? Nice, bro. Nice, Chris. I think we're starting to see that turnaround. I just don't trust it. I don't trust it. Maybe hit like look, yeah, you got really nice volume on the IWM. That's really nice volume.
yes, we see this
Like look at that volume. You don't have that on the SPY and the Qs. I think I might trade the IWM if we can get a see if the IWM, that rejection level should be up here, right? Yesterday's pivot high on the IWM. That's a 30-minute. Let me go to a 15-minute. Come on. So no, that's yesterday's high. Damn, it's already back to yesterday's high.
to take care of their own health, the health of their loved ones, and that's what we are focused on as we speak.
Man, that would be 420 for the SPY.
Since the FDA decision that the main ingredient in Sudafed
So here's the thing, right? So if the IWM, here's how I'm looking at this.
CVS is
is if the IWM rejects this level, right? If the IWM rejects this level, you have really nice volume though, so I don't know if it's going to. That would line up with the short at the SPY here again at yesterday's low. Yeah, let's look at that.
Are they trading down? Are consumers going to more generic, value-oriented products instead of your brand name?
You're saying like intraday or at this area here? Let's see here. Let me see what you mean. Yeah, I see what you see how it's just capitulated and it kind of just you had your bounce and it's not going as far. Now they're coming in to buy it. Here's the kicker though. Like this is what I don't like. I don't like that. I mean I like this because it's not even 11 o'clock yet. It's almost 11 o'clock. Right? It's almost 11 o'clock and you are getting some volume in there. Look at that. Look at that. All right, that's what we have waiting for us up here. If it's still there, I feel like we are due for a bounce. We are due for a bounce. We are due for a bounce. Listen, keep them consecutive. You got to keep your trades consecutive. That's where so many people go wrong. That's how you keep your P&L consecutive, bud. Seriously. Like, the only time I feel like for me when I really size up on a trade is when I have a clear pattern, a clear setup that I see that comes every now and then. Like, we haven't had many bullish patterns because we're in a bearish market, right? So you're not going to get bullish setups. You have to look for, like, I guess bearish setups is what I'm trying to say, but like, you don't really get them as often as you do on, like you do on bullish setups. Like, you know, inverse head and shoulders, and cup and handle, stuff like that. But keep your sizes consistent at least for like a few months until you start getting some really, until you can start getting the wins under your belt. Even go small, right? Take it small. Just get the consent. Focus on being consistent, entering and exiting right. Right? It makes the world of a difference. Like, it's what I did today. I've been falling off the beaten path. So what did I do? I just worried about trying to be consistent. I didn't do too well at that either. The market got me. So there's that rejection level in IWM coming in. Right at that level. It looks like it's, you know, it could be a minor pullback. Your real resistance, though, in IWM is up here at 167.50. Or we could say it's at like 167 till 167.50. Right? So you're up at yesterday's highs. It is trying to pull back. I would think about keeping it consistent though, Chris. I really would. I would keep everything consistent until you become consistent. Right? Show yourself that you can consistently pull money out of the markets. I mean, even if you have to sell spreads, right? If you don't have enough capital for it, then focus on like saying, this is where I'm going short, this is where I'm going long. If it does, I'm not doing anything until it gets there. Here she comes yelling at me again. I'm going to go see what she needs and make a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. I'm really curious to see what we do here. I think because we have Amazon earnings, let's see if the market kind of sits here. We have PCE data tomorrow, so the market may just want to relax in this area because this is your inflection point where we're either going to go lower or we're going to go higher, and that's going to depend on Amazon but more so PCE numbers. I feel like I don't think the market cares about earnings right now, at least the price action that I'm seeing. Meta, it rises and then sells off. Microsoft does good, rises, sells off. You know, so it's like it's they don't even care if you do well. The only one they cared about was Netflix, and that was blowout earnings. And Netflix, the reason Netflix went up is because it already had gotten sold off prior to earnings, right? So that was a perfect setup to say, hey, if they do good, you have a really good solid trade here to get back to where you were, to the upside. So a trade idea here would be a pullback to the 50-day moving average and this 400 level, right? If we can pull it back. So tomorrow is PCE. We have Amazon earnings, and yeah. So yeah, it is. Well, it is, but if you think about why we did it, it's kind of not. I kind of sensed that the way the market was, like, once we were sitting down here and we broke VWAP, once we broke VWAP here, I'm like, okay, the market's going back to where we opened. Here's a bull flag getting ready to be put in too. And you got to think, whoever was short is not going to be hanging on much longer. They're getting paid, and any pops, they're going to be taking profit. So nice job, bro. Nice job, dude. 100%. That's sick, bro. That's awesome. Look at that volume. I'm going to watch that too with you. I'm going to go get a cup of coffee and see if I can't trade this with you. I don't want to, because I'm red now. I'm back in red. I was green. I was red. I went back green. And now I'm back red again from being a fucking idiot. So, I mean, I'd seen my shot. I took it. I didn't stop out as fast as I should have. Like, look at that volume, Chris. That's huge volume. You should at least get back to that 107 level or 167 level. Like the close from 2 days ago. Look at that gap that you have there, but it's starting to act as resistance. Right, you have a nice gap fill here at 166.50 area, 166.40. Yeah, 166.40 is a nice gap fill. If you can pull back, this is where I would look to take the long on a 15-minute chart. Right here. See if we can get the IWM to pull itself back on the 15-minute and get in touch with that 9 EMA. Right, see if we can get 9 EMA and VWAP are both anchored up to the upside. Let's watch for a pullback into VWAP and see if we can get long off of that on a 15-minute chart with a low volume pullback. Man, that selling's increasing too. Fuck. It's trying to fill that gap. So you have a double top there. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the SPY. Because if the IWM is up here, you have a double top on the IWM. You have a double top on the SPY. The IWM is already through it. Let's look for the SPY to break that level. Never mind. I don't know. Hold on. Let's see here. IWM. I'm trying to look. Oh yeah, that's not the same. I'm sorry. I take it back. But I will stay. I will stand with that, guys. I will say if we pull it back here, on a 3-minute chart, and if we can get a pullback to 165, and we hold 165 with a low volume pullback, I will get long IWM. And I will buy steak. I will buy Chris a steak. I will send him a gift card if we get this, if I land this. So that's coming up with the trading plan right there. I'm not going to do anything until I see the IWM right here in this area. Hold on. And I'm not doing anything. If it goes higher without me, it goes higher without me. I don't sit here and say I'm going to get short at this level. Nope. I'm going to wait for the pullback, and I'm going to get long right there. We have the volume. We have everything that tells me that this area at 165 should hold. We have a really nice increase in volume, low volume pullbacks. which is why do we look for low volume pullbacks? Because that tells you that that's profit taking and it's not selling. It's not people like getting out of positions and selling and selling and selling. It's taking profits on longs, is what that is. So I'm gonna make my coffee real quick. I'll be right back. There's a weakness. See what I mean? It's like I don't trust the market. I really don't. So I would just watch for an inside out type of day, guys. If we just sit here and trade inside out, it's going to tell us that we're waiting for PCE data tomorrow and Amazon earnings. Right? We're really worried about inflation data, but you know, this is a low volume sell-off too, in and of itself. You could get a bounce here, and then oh, I got you, bud. I got you, Chris. We have a Fed meeting next week, so look, there's a nice bounce right off of that level. I would just watch, man. This market's just whipsawing back and forth. Short the bounces, get long the pullbacks. Where they're going to be at, I have no idea. You'll just have to watch level 2 and time and sales and kind of just focus on, like, this is a key area right here. This is a key area for the market, at least for the SPY. Like 414 to 414. What is that? That's like 414.81 down to the low a day. That whole 414 area. And what sucks is we're getting good news. You're getting Ford, GM starting to get a deal going. Oh, of course, Meta. Of course. Let's see here. What's Meta doing? I wonder if we could get this to be a nice cup and handle. Nah, never mind. Let me see here. Look at this, guys. Alright, I'm going to tell you right now. Look at Meta. Let's look at Meta. The only thing I don't like is that there's low volume here. Look at this pattern. Look at this pattern. Look at this. This is, and you see how the candles are nice and tight. If you get this, right? If you get this, right? Nice tight patterns. I'm trying my best here that are about the same size, and you just consistently pull it back, right? I'd look to like right here at like 282. It would probably be more so like 280, 284 area. See if you get a bounce. The only thing that I do not like, why people will get caught in a failed breakout on a cup and handle here, is because of this. I'm going to show you. Is because the right side of the cup, right? That right side of the cup right here is low volume. That is lower volume than that side of the cup, right? Here has more. There's more sell volume, but if you get a light volume pullback, this was right off of the open. Look at this, like, you know, it's like there is some buying in there. All right, it is starting to increase. Let's see here. It can't happen too early. It's got to happen down here at like 284. It's got to happen around 284. Let's see if you have a cup and handle on Meta to go long and even into like the 100-day moving average at like 300. Let's see. I'm going to sit here and watch Meta. This could be a nice bull pattern here that I think I need to change my account to margin, because I was just making coffee and I'm like, man, I think I'm going to change my account back. Or I could just, I have my IBK, my Interactive Brokers account on margin. So I could just use that. Actually, now that I think about it. Because I've been working on an account that I've been working on my E-Trade account because I've been kind of just like not myself lately, and I kind of was just trying to get consistent trades there and haven't fooled with any of my other accounts because I don't want to fuck them up. Like, knowing when you get this type of market, bear markets, like you gotta do really good. You gotta execute. You got to have your plan. You got to execute, and you got to stick to your stop losses. So I kind of just, if we get it, this is like something I wouldn't mind. I just don't know if I trust it. We'll see here. We're starting to get a little bit of increase in volume. But again, that's that. I'm going to see if we can get a pullback, a consistent drawdown here on Meta, and see if this could, this cup and handle could play itself out. We'll see. We'll see if it will. My initial thought is that it might not, because of this volume here with the sell side, and like, you know, it's you want to see an increase in volume on the right hand side. IWM. See, if I go off on the other things, I'm gonna forget about Meta. I would wait. If I take a long on IWM, it's down at 165. It's gonna be at like 165. If I take a long, I wanna wait and see what the markets do, because there's a chance we sit sideways because of the inflation data we're getting. Look at the SPY already down at yesterday's low. Unbelievable. So it didn't give you one try, and like I was in puts, and it shook me out. That's the second time today that the SPY has really shook me out. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I mean, we're obviously weak. What broker do you use, Chris? And do you like them, or do? I mean, if you're using them, you probably do like them. Or
At Baird, we have investor relationships in 35 countries and market expertise in over 40 industry verticals, all to help make the most important investment connections of all. Yours. Discover the Baird difference at BairdDifference.com.
man, that's so crazy. You gotta be shitting me. You gotta be shitting me. It gave us another try. But look at that, like just rips up and takes it right back, guys. If I would have held on to my put, this here would not have happened. It would not have happened, I feel like. And that's why I got short, because when we were up here at VWAP, look how low this volume was. Right? I didn't trust that move to the upside. I didn't trust it at all. This is insane. This is insane. It really is. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get smoked. And don't think that you're going to get a short right here because it's going to reject low of day. No, it's going to bounce back to the 9 EMA, which is back up here at the resistance level. Right? It's going to bounce back to 414.92-ish. Right? And even then, like, look at that. That is insane. Are you serious? This is crazy. I have not seen the SPY be so volatile in a while. I don't think I've ever seen it do something like that. I'm sure I have. But to see the SPY go from the low to the high and then take it directly back to the low, that's something else, man. Alright. Let's see here. I'm going to wait till lunchtime, guys, and I got a couple things that I want to do, because I got to start getting some of the stuff I need to do done. I need to start doing some things, like, because I haven't really like, there's been so much more that I've been wanting out of, like, my days, and I haven't been doing it. I don't know, it's like that I haven't been doing it. It's just, I don't know. I have a couple things I want to do. If this market starts to slow up at lunchtime, I'll probably stop the stream for about 2 hours or so, and then come back at 2. Or if we have people here, we'll go through a lesson or something, and we can scan the markets. Yeah, see how Meta's already starting to bounce? This is why I think this is going to be a failed cup and handle. Right, this is being able to read a pattern that everyone sees. How many people do you think right now are going to try to get long Meta because they think they see a cup and handle right now? They see a cup, they see a small handle. That handle should take you, right? This thing should take you at least down to 280, like 284. That's where the handle should end. This is where you should be getting long. Right around here. And it should be flat. It should be just like this line that I have on my chart. The candle should be the equal size. It should be a low volume pullback. And it should extend all the way down here, very clear as day. And then you get that nice bounce that you're looking for. If this thing bounces to the 100-day moving average and fills the gap, I would be surprised. I would be surprised. I really would. Because you want a low volume pullback on the left side of the cup, increase in volume on the right side of the cup with a low volume pullback, and usually it will pull back to that area at like 284. Some people are like, oh, that's too far. No, this is the handle. All right, that handle will extend because I've seen them. If it's a true cup and handle, it will extend. So let's see if this starts to try to break out and you start to suck people into the long side and see if it fails. Let's see if it fails. I just don't think that it's a cup and handle, guys. I think this is setting people up to lose money to the long. I haven't looked at currencies just yet either, which is something we need to do. So the 2-year, guys, I don't know if you guys have heard me talk about Tony Dwyer or know who he is, but he's someone that I like to hear his opinion. Somebody like I listen to because he's worked with the best growing up. He's worked with the best doing this. So look at the 2-year, right? Putting in new highs. Look at the RSI. That's bearish divergence, guys. I think we're going to get a pullback in yields here soon. Let's look at, and I know I showed you guys this, I think. Look at the euro. Okay, and this is a daily chart. It's pulling back, and what did we say? I told you guys this box here. All right, I told you guys that box is where I would look for it to pull back to. At like 38, low 40s, right? But if we can get this thing to bounce, if we can get this euro to bounce, that could help our equity market. Because that's going to pull our dollar down. That's going to pull yields back. That'll pull the dollar back. That'll help pull equity markets up. All right, so this is the plan that I'm looking for, and I'm just waiting for the pounce. I just don't think the time is right now. Like, you see this uptrend? You just seen that on the downside with the euro. Okay? Same thing. Boop. So let's see if we can get the dollar to pull itself back and get put in like a double top. Even the dollar on a longer term basis is, nah, it's not really doing. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find it here. This new high. Yep, right there. Right, so if we were to pull this like do the same thing here with the dollar, right?
The weight per shipment is down about
Come
7
on.
pounds. So, you know, I think customers are still shipping orders. They're just shipping lower quantities of those goods.
So there's that, right? It's the same thing. And then you have the divergence in the RSI. Now this is just one, you know, this is just one little, whatchamacallit.
Well, it's impacting business.
Come on.
We're not seeing a lot of rate cutting going on right now, even though
It's just the start of things, though. It could be the start of things to come. And
you know, to offer a quality service,
you do have a nice little double bottom here.
capital. So, we're not
Okay.
seeing a lot of rate cutting going on out there, which is healthy for the industry. We've also seen
We'll see. We'll see what happens here. It looks better on the euro, but boy, did we call that pennant there? Look at that. It bounced right out, pulled back to it, and this is back when I was good at trading, right? This was a good time. This was a good time. August, end of August, September, and October have been pretty rough for me for some reason. But I'll get it back. It comes with the territory. It really does. Comes with the territory. You're gonna find yourself in a rut from time to time. The longer you do this. Let's see. I know there's something here. I can see it. Oh shoot! Did we? I was gonna say. Is that our?
Third kid? What if she likes playing golf? It's expensive. We're outlawing golf. Wait.
I thought we marked it. Yeah. Wow, look at that, guys. We did. Remember I showed you guys this? That I said where we were, if we break out of this area, we don't have anything stopping us up until that 5.5 area. 5.2, 5. Look at these moves and rates, guys. That's so insane. It really is. That's so insane. Like look at the rates in 2008 compared to now. We should definitely feel this. If you don't think we're going to feel any of this, like look in comparison. We have done this in a year and a half, 2-year time span. I'm going to say 2022, 2024. You have just taken back in 2 years what you've done in almost 20 years, guys. Almost 20 years. Well, dude, that's insane. Look how high rates were. Look how high rates went, guys. Holy shit. Okay, that's back from the 80s, but I was looking at the 2000s is what I was looking at. Like, that's insane. Oh my gosh, if we get there. That's our target. Huh? That's our target. I found it. We have another one. We have another one. What? Where are all these lines coming from?
One that fits your needs and your budget. Call Humana now at the number on your screen for this free guide. It's just one of the ways that Humana is making healthcare simpler. And when you
It's like I'm finding treasure.
licensed agent producer can answer any questions
Yeah, that's the area right there.
plan that's right for you.
I think that's it.
And there's no obligation.
But if we go, like you said, this was it. This is what we were talking about. If we get, since we've broken above it, you don't have anything stopping you to 7%. You don't have anything stopping you. So what I would look for, which sucks, I don't know if we're going to get it. I would look for the pullback, right? That deeper pullback to happen and see if we can't start trying to help the markets, the equity markets. And look, there goes Meta pulling back. Let's see what happens here. The Qs are making new lows. Did you get
I think ambition is not taking.
how did that go for you, Chris? Sorry, I didn't see your message.
When I first started Maven, healthcare system work better for women and families. We really have to deep.
Wow. I just think we're in trouble, guys. I really do. Wait for the bounce back. I would wait for the bounce back to take a short. Even then, I would be careful. I wouldn't even do anything right now. I really wouldn't. Because the minute that you do something, the market is sitting sideways right now. What we're doing is putting in sidewards price action to find stability. We're trying to find a bit of stability here.
The biggest mission to date on the ground inside of Gaza, and it included tanks, troops, even earth movers moving in to clear the way there. And as you talk about IDF commanders saying they are preparing, quote,
And where they're killing, the market is killing premium too. Because if you try to just grab some options and hold them all day, like this bounce back kills your profits, then it goes right back to where it was. And it's like, you're just asking for a red day today if if you're out kind of just taking your shots. Let's see, boom. Oh, look at that 15-minute chart on the SPY. That looks really good. Let's see what the IWM looks like. You have 9 EMA, VWAP coming in, VWAP cross.
no longer be able to operate after today because they are out of fuel. We know that 12 more trucks of aid rolled in across the border with Egypt.
It's already down though. Let's see if it bounces here.
Medical supplies, but no fuel. And Israel has made it clear as they inspect those trucks moving in.
So sideways, 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 continuation. I don't know what to do, guys. This sucks. This really sucks. Every time I went short twice today, and the market literally knew that I put in an order or something because it literally just ripped both times I put my short in, only to come back around. I mean, obviously I'm just joking, but
So that's something they'll have to decide in the coming hours. A tough go there as the UN again has failed to pass any type of Security Council measure.
like both times, bro.
At this point,
It's funny, isn't it?
they're talking
Literally, both times I went short the market, it fucking ripped.
languages, and this is Israelis' right to self-defense. As that goes
Did it here at VWAP, whoop, and then I did it back here somewhere.
The hostages. Is there discussion of that?
I did it back here somewhere. Oh, right here.
a lot of discussion
It was there.
In fact,
Whoop.
we are hearing is from
Both green times.
negotiators there
Here
is that
and here.
there would be some type of ceasefire. There would be some type of pause.
It said, yep, he put his order in, guys. Time to run it up.
That they would
Jam it down his throat.
all foreign hostages.
So,
Of course, this is something
it is what it is. I was green on the day. I didn't feel comfortable holding CRM, and look at that. It went all the way back up to where I entered, and bang. Like, what is the market doing right now? I'd be careful, guys. This thing is destroying premium. It's destroying it. Now might be the time where it just continues. I don't know, though. I think, again, I'm going to say it for the 1000th time. I think you might want to wait until PCE tomorrow. Or if you're going to get puts or anything, just try to get it on a bounce back if you can. And grab some time. And don't just get stopped out when the market just jams it down your throat. That's the other part to this. It could just continue to go up. And you're stuck, like, that's the other part, that you do kind of have to, like, have a stop loss. But, because in the market, unless you're okay with it going to zero. But I would wait. I wouldn't put anything on until you get this PCE data tomorrow and kind of see how we close the day and where we open up tomorrow. And look at that. Where's it trying to bounce off of? I still don't trust this thing. I think you're going to get a failed breakout on this cup and handle. Unless the markets decide to go to the upside. I think Meadows is short. Oh my god, look at Apple, guys. Wow. Does anybody know where Tesla's at? It's still hanging out. It's not doing that bad. So I would keep an eye out on Tesla as a stock that has relative strength. Microsoft. So Microsoft's also selling off. Wow, today was the day to trade Microsoft. Oh my god. Google has some strength, right? If we look at the markets, like the Qs are down at lows of the day. And, well, really, excuse me, it's like here. But, so if you start to identify specifically some of these tech names that have strength, that aren't, you know, selling off with the market because they've already sold off, you could find that if and when we bounce, you could ride these names for a nice gain higher. You guys know what I'm saying? If the Qs decide to turn them to start going to the upside, you could look at names like Google, Microsoft, or not Microsoft, but like Google, Tesla, maybe even Meta, but like Netflix. I think Netflix goes down to 400. I think Netflix is going to 400. I think it's testing 400. It might start to do it now. Let's see if it wants to jam it down my throat. I don't know if it will. It probably will. But I'm gonna see if I can. Man, I don't know. I don't know. I might just be done for the day because I can't continue to do this. I can't continue to just put myself through this stuff. I need to go back and go through all of my levels and redo them. And not have so many lines and stuff. So it's a nice rejection off the 100 day. Let's see. I think Netflix is a decent short, guys. I really do. I think this would be a nice short. If anybody wants to get short something, I would look at this name. Even if we see if we can bounce it. Look, it's gonna go now. It's gonna do it now. What I would do, what I would be looking for, there's a gap fill right here, is to see if we bounce off the gap fill, get into that area of like 410, 409.98, right? And then start making our way down. Crack the low, pull it back a little bit, and start trying to get back down to that 50-day moving average. Right? That's what I would look for. That's exactly what I would look for. It could take you a day or like 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, but it could take you a couple days to do that. But I think this is a nice trade that's setting up. Again, where would you want to be short though? You want to be short up here at the 100 day. Alright? You don't want to be shorting the bottoms. You're just making it harder on yourself because you're going to get a bounce, and then if it bounces, you're red. Right? It should bounce to the initial low of the day. It should. Right? Then that would be your second thought of entry. You know, so that's all I got for right now. I'm gonna look around and see what's going on. I think it's a choppy day for the most part. Let me go look at the scanners and see if we have anything going on in small cap land. I do want to see how I want to see how Chinese stocks did today as well.
Clarity on that in the Tesla earnings call, and we didn't quite get that.
The headline on Bloomberg yesterday was Wall Street sours on EVs amid faltering demand and funding costs soaring. If you look at the drawdown of all the Mag 7, Tesla's is the worst at 28.
Well, that was a pretty disappointing conference call, I think, for folks. But look, it's where the world is going. It's where regulation is going. It's where
be right
demand
back,
is
guys.
going.
Thank
The
you guys
Inflation
for
Reduction Act is just kicking
being
off.
here.
So there are plenty of structural reasons to be bullish on that future. And Stephen Scher is one of them. He's
try
going to be
and
on with
do
Jim on
myself
Mad
a
Money,
favor
by the
and
way.
you guys a
As
favor
rates
and
remain
start to,
elevated, our next guest says, take a look at the distressed credit
really
market.
focus on
With
getting
nearly
better at this,
$5.5
getting
trillion up for
early,
grabs. Much
getting
of
the
that
game
debt
plans, putting ourselves
was
in the right
raised in the
places.
low-rate era, and it remains outstanding.
We
and
could still get
you see
some
our next
news
guest sees
out of
opportunities
nowhere.
over the next 5 to 10 years. Joining us now is Mudrick Capital Management Chief Investment
NCL
Officer
is a
Jason
stock
Mudrick.
that
He's in
is
town this week for the Creditors' Rights Coalition 2023 Allocators
Making new
Conference.
highs, but it looks like it's
I'll be doing that
pulling
panel
back.
with him. Jason, welcome to the show. It's good to have you.
Thank you, Sarah. Good to be
So
here.
what does that mean, that there's
looks
a
like-
sort of
I wonder if Sarah's
generational
had a-
opportunity in
you know
distressed
what
debt?
job.
Well, the thing that excites us the most
She
about the
was a
opportunity set is the
Forex
sheer
trader,
size of
believe
it.
it or not.
As you mentioned in your opening remarks, it's $5.5 trillion.
All right, look
today.
at ARM
So just
here,
to put
right?
that in perspective,
This level
in the
is
2001 recession,
level
the
has now
non-investment grade
broken and
credit
it's
market was
retesting
$800
it.
billion. It had grown to $2
you have
trillion
a
by the
triple
time of the
bottom
GFC.
here. Look at this quadruple
$5.5
bottom, guys.
trillion today. So
let's
that's
see
what
if this
happens
is
when you keep
a
interest rates
rejection
at
area
zero
for
and you
ARM.
have
This
good
could
economic
actually
growth.
be a
It encourages
trade.
a lot of corporations to borrow. So not only is the size of the market very
just
appealing,
don't
it's very
like
spread out across
that-
industries. So as
You
a
know what, I'm not even
distressed
gonna- this is
fund, we need
exactly
to
what I
diversify
talked
across
about this
industries.
morning,
What's
about
interesting
coming up
about
with
this cycle is
excuses.
the over leverage is not isolated in certain verticals. It's spread everywhere.
Right.
Very few industries resisted the temptation to borrow in the zero rate environment. So even venture capital, companies that don't have EBITDA, even pre-revenue venture companies actually tapped the credit markets and borrowed. So you're looking at a very deep market and a very broad market. And the risk in the market is as high as it's ever been. So one of the key metrics we look at to establish risk is total debt levels to earnings power. And the debt to EBITDA of the level of the credit market has been at all-time highs for the last 7 years. And people aren't really issuing bonds or loans more than 5 years out. So the
VIX
entire
did pull
market was
back just
basically
a bit
issued at the
today.
highest debt to EBITDA multiples ever, all issued in zero
This is
rates.
kinda fine, man.
So we built up a lot of debt over that period. But here's the thing: like the Fed has been raising rates since March 2022, and everyone expected a wave of bankruptcies and all of this distress, and it doesn't feel like that's happened.
Well, the earnings so far have held up. There was an initial issue with inflation that seems to have subsided,
So
at least for
I'm
now.
gonna
But
I'm watching ARM.
what's fascinating about this cycle is the catalyst today
so
is
it
not
did
an earnings
hold this
contraction;
level
it's
here.
interest rates. This is very
This
unique.
is,
So in
Thursday,
2000, when COVID
Tuesday,
hit,
Monday, Friday,
earnings
Thursday.
contracted. It was a
Thursday's
question
low.
of how long that would be. 2015, you had oil prices collapse. 2011, you had a European banking crisis. Interest rates rising as fast as they've ever risen affects all borrowers, right? 2/3 of the non-investment grade credit market is floating rate, so they're feeling it now. The rest is fixed coupon, but they're going to have to refinance that at some point. If you borrowed 3 years ago at 5%, you're not refinancing at
So
5%.
you expect the wave of defaults to come?
Defaults are going to be much more protracted in nature. Okay, but when you put 6 turns, 7 turns, 8 turns of debt to EBITDA on businesses, and right now almost half the market is more than 7 times levered if you don't give companies credit for add backs to EBITDA. That just doesn't work in a 12, 13, 14% cost of debt market. If you just do the math, if you're 8 times levered and it costs you 12%, and by the way, you couldn't refinance 8 turns today. Well, let's just say you could, and you could do it at 12%, which you can't do, but you could do. Just do the math. Like your EBITDA and your interest are equal. So
If
your
you-
cash flow negative.
If you were to pick a year in terms of peak maturity wall, is it 25?
Listen to what
Is it
they're
next
saying.
Year?
So the phenomenon we're dealing with now that's going to help make this very protracted, which by the way is very good for distressed investors. Like we want to have stuff to do for the next 10 years, not the stuff to do for the next 1, 2, or 3 years, is most of the loan market is covenant light in nature. Okay, and what that
Oh,
means
shit,
is
we got
that
the data.
even companies that have
see
broken balance sheets, too
Let's
much
see what
levered,
happened.
cash flow negative, can actually borrow
It
more
went up
debt.
again. I knew it.
Right, the answer
I
to too
knew
much
it.
debt is not
I knew
more
it,
debt.
guys. Look.
But without covenants, they can take additional
Look,
debt and
they
put it
needed more
senior
money.
to the existing capital structure.
They needed more
which
money.
You can borrow.
We're getting ready to hit that
and
9
that will
level,
prolong
guys.
the inevitable. So I don't know when the
Wow.
peak default cycle will be. It will somewhat depend on what the economy does. But I do think this will be very protracted in nature.
But is
Why
the
did it look like
strategy
that?
then
Look at this.
to
If I-
bet on a wave of companies that do fold, right, crushed by debt, and you invest in the ones that survive and steal their share? Is it that simple?
No, I think that this is very early
October
innings. So
18th.
I think the nature of how we make money investing in distress will change over the
Wait,
next 3,
it's
4,
not-
5,
it's not
10
on
years.
here.
Right now, we're very focused
I
on
need to
senior
refresh
credit
it.
instruments.
I
I
probably
would
need to
refer to it
refresh
more
it.
as stressed than distressed. I think at this stage in the cycle, you want to focus on higher quality businesses, more economically
think they've
resilient
posted it
businesses.
yet.
We haven't even had a recession yet. The companies that are in Chapter 11 today tend to be, there's exceptions, but tend to be lower quality businesses, businesses
don't
that
have
not
it up
only
yet.
have borrowing cost problems, but have operational issues. So we're focused more on stressed credit, senior debt in some of these over-leveraged LBOs, and you can get 15% doing that right now, which in our neck of the woods is pretty good for now.
You mentioned it wasn't industry specific this time, like we've seen before when it was energy a few years ago. But real estate feels like a particular focus for distress right now. Is that a part of your strategy?
We don't do a lot of real estate. We're mostly focused on corporate credit, so operating businesses. But the corporate credit, the commercial real estate market is a tsunami waiting to happen. I mean, there's something like $1.5 trillion of real estate related credit maturing in the next 3 years. So that's going to be an absolute disaster. If you look at office occupancy today, are just at 50%. People aren't going to renew those leases at anywhere close to the rates they were paying, 7, 10 years ago when all that debt was taken out.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a spark that triggers more problems in the market.
Yeah, I think it will be more real estate. I mean, the real issue for the earnings power of these businesses is the consumer. The consumer, and we saw the Q3 GDP print this morning. The consumer's been very resilient so far. Unemployment's still very low, but you have credit card debt, you have auto leases that are going to come due, you have mortgages that you took out at 2.5% 5 years ago with a 7-year IO that are going to need to get refinanced. So I think what we've seen is that the U.S. economy is a ship. It's a big ship, and it just takes time to turn. So you've seen rates move up very fast. That's affected the borrowing costs for these businesses today, but earnings power has been very resilient.
Wait and see.
I think it's just going to take longer to play out.
For it to filter into the household.
Yeah, I mean, the U.S. consumer is 2/3 of GDP, all right? So, as unemployment starts to move up, as people spend less and less on goods and services and more servicing the debt they took out in a zero-rate environment, I think you're going to see lower growth.
Jason, thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
Even though
Thanks
it's
for
a
having
little
me.
doom and gloom. Jason Mudrick, appreciate it, from Mudrick Capital. Speaking of big ships.
Speaking of big ships, Royal Caribbean CEO is going to join us to break down the most recent quarter. Stock is higher after pretty good guidance, now up 70% for the year. Don't go anywhere.
All right. I'm gonna clean these charts up a little bit, guys. Go get yourself some lunch. Kind of just. Okay, Google's starting to bounce here. It's filled its gap. I think Google is due for a bounce. I feel like Google's due for a bounce. Yeah, I don't really see anything moving other than what we're watching already. So, yeah, kind of just, go out, do your research, stuff like that. I'm gonna, look at that drop. That's insane. That's so insane. I got spit up and chewed out today. I don't know why I couldn't just. Okay, so the SPY is trying to hold this level here. That's a good sign. That's a good sign that we're holding 414. So let's give it some time and see what happens here. It kind of feels like the market wants to turn around. Feels like it wants to turn around just a bit.
Welcome back. Take a look at shares of Royal Caribbean jumping this morning, up 70% on the year. The cruise line did beat on the top and the bottom line for the latest quarter. They raised guidance. They note that booking remains strong through the quarter, significantly exceeding 2019 levels, and they're seeing demand accelerate for 2024. Joining us in a First on CNBC interview is Royal Caribbean CEO Jason Liberty. Jason, so good to check in with you because it does look like bookings are solid, and the guidance, obviously, you can't argue with. We're trying to square it with some of the capacity moves we've seen from some of the airlines, for example. Is there a reason to believe there'll be a pass-through?
Well, first, really great to be here, Carl, and really thanks for having me. I think there are much different dynamics than what we're seeing in hotel and airline as we don't really have the business consumer. So ours is really kind of pure leisure. And I think when you kind of consider what we're seeing in terms of this acceleration, a lot of it's driven by the value gap between land-based vacation, which is resulting in accelerated demand for both on the ticket side as well as on the onboard side.
Are you seeing, Jason, any behavioral changes just in recent weeks here between the U.S. and Europe and global customers because of what, for instance, in Israel?
Yeah. Well, fortunately, we have really great visibility into our customer. We have about 130,000 people sailing with us right now, and when we take 30, 40, 50,000 bookings a day. So we have great visibility in terms of what we're seeing, and so far we're not really seeing any change in behavior as relates to the horrific situation that's happening in Israel. What we actually see is just continued strength in demand and very similar trends to what we were seeing.
The holiday strong domestically in the U.S. that just when stuff happens around the world that's scary, then people do stay closer to home. You're not seeing it.
At this point, we're not. Now, we're at the end of our European season, so our Europe season really picks up in May of next year in terms of our deployment. So just in terms of timing, most of our focus is our guests are either going to be Americans or Europeans in the Caribbean, or they're going to be people from Australia going to cruises in Australia and New Zealand. So we're not really kind of in that zone of where this conflict would impact us at this point in time.
Yeah, that's been some of the threads that some of the analysts have picked up in is over-indexing on shorter trips to the Caribbean. Is that considered sort of a trump card, so to speak, at least for the moment?
Yeah, well, we certainly have benefited by having more of our product in the Caribbean and having more of our product in the short product. Some of that is because of the drivable market, our guests being able to drive closer. But we also have a unique set of assets. Besides that, our ships are extremely differentiated versus our competitors. But we also have a lot of private destinations, one of which is Perfect Day at CocoCay, which has the tallest water slide in North America and has an incredible thrill side and chill side that is drawing a lot of first to cruise as well as first to brand.
I'm in the thrill side. Carl's in the chill side.
I would do the slide. I definitely would do the slide.
What do you?
I'm going to take you up on that.
What about pricing, Jason? How's pricing with the demand so elevated, both on board and for booking cruises?
Yeah, I mean, really, what we saw as we turned this year in 2023, we just saw an incredible acceleration in pricing as well as in volumes. Again, I think a lot of the pricing is being driven off of just the significant value gap to land-based vacation. Pre-COVID, we were about a 10 or 15% value gap. And then earlier this year, we were about 40, 45%. Now, we've made a dent in that by about 10 percentage points. But that, I think, is a lot of what is resulting in the consumer looking to come to us, as well as all these demographics are putting us in a very positive position, because these consumers look at cruise today as just a alternative product to going to a land-based vacation experiences. And that's also coming, what we see on board spend, whether it's on culinary or spa or casino or experiencing things on land, has really been at a significantly elevated level versus 2019.
Well, until Sarah and I actually do the show live from an RCL boat,
That'd be cool.
Jason, we'll look forward to talking to you next time. Thanks so much for the guidance on the quarter.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having
Jason
me.
Liberty.
I do love a water slide, too.
Yes, of course.
Up next, Megacap Tech's AI spending plans, including Amazon, which reports tonight. We're going to talk about that in 2 minutes. Taking a look at overall markets, Dow still down about 100 points. Again, the pressure's been in the NASDAQ all week long. It's down 1.3%. Now, over the last week, it's down about 4%. So some real pain there. And it is related to earnings. Microsoft today, Apple breaking some key levels, Meta, Comcast as well, all weighing on the big tech heavy index. We'll be right back.
Some disappointing earnings from big tech so far. Alphabet, Meta, Tesla, all slumping since their respective prints. What's in store for Amazon tonight? That's the focus of today's Tech Check with Deirdre Bosa. Hi, Dean.
Hey, Carl. So the past few days, they have not been pretty for big tech, but don't let that fool you. This is not a fundamental story. Google told us the advertising market's resilient. Meta told us that it can balance massive costs with profitability. And Microsoft showed the street that it can monetize AI in the cloud. Now, this is all in their earnings and revenue growth rates this quarter. We'll show you them now. It's hard to find fault with double-digit top-line growth, 40% earnings growth at Google, and Meta doubling its bottom line over the last quarter, except to say that these may have already been baked in. Meta shares have more than doubled this year. Alphabet and Microsoft, they're each up nearly 40% year to date. The weak stock performances this week, at least of Google and Meta, they're more an effect of the broader sell-off in equities than they are a cause of it. And part of that is the yield-driven rut that's affecting the market as a whole, which has investors asking, why take a chance on risky stocks when safe bond yields are similarly priced? Now, this all raises the stakes for Amazon tonight. It has been a mega cap laggard, slowing cloud growth, its costly logistics build-out, playing catch-up in AI. So the bar is arguably lower, but it will still need to balance what we talked about a week ago heading into this earnings season, and that is the promise of AI versus the economics of AI. Its cloud unit, AWS, that is still the profit engine of the company, and it helps pay for those AI ambitions. But revenue growth, as you can see here, it has been decelerating for 6 straight quarters, and operating margins have shrunk. Now, the street tonight wants to see that that slump has bottomed. If Andy Jassy and its team cannot confidently say that it has, and then it's back on the upswing, Amazon could be another mega cap drag on the market with that outsized effect. Now, key also to its fundamental story, Amazon will need to guide for a strong holiday quarter ahead, and that rests largely on its e-commerce business. No shortage of shopping holidays. We've already had a Prime Day. We've got Cyber Monday, Black Friday, and more holiday shopping seasons coming up, guys.
Dee, it's a week where, you know, the slowdown in Google Cloud, but the resilience of Azure kind of held this debate about why is it only raining on one side of the street, as Kramer liked to say. I wonder if AWS kind of breaks that tie.
Yes, mixed signals. And here it's important to keep in mind that Microsoft's cloud unit is still a lot bigger than that of Google, and it's more tied into its core proposition to serve enterprises. In that sense, Microsoft is probably a better indicator for an Amazon because Amazon is building all of its AI products into the cloud. So what I'm hearing as well is that we need to return to that double-digit growth. If AWS revenue growth is at 13%, that's going to be great news for the markets. If it dips below that, 12% comes in at 11% or so, that is going to spell trouble. But again, those mixed signals. Google said that they saw customers optimize for spend. AWS could go either way. Remember, it is the largest by far of the cloud giants.
Dee, we'll see what happens in a few hours. Thanks, Deirdre Bosa, watching, highlighting Amazon tonight. We'll also get Ford and Intel and Chipotle.
Here we go.
And I also just want to point out that Apple is sort of breaking down here right now, which is not good for the overall market, but it's below its late September lows. So sort of lower high, lower low, and it doesn't report till next week, which could be a catalyst one way or another. But obviously ugly action in tech all around. Yeah, NVIDIA too, almost a 3-handle, which it hasn't had since the summer. Let's get to the judge.
It hasn't made a new low yet. It hasn't made a new low.
I appreciate it, Carl. Thank you. Welcome to the Halftime Report. I'm Scott Walker, front and center this hour. The good, the bad, the ugly of this market with the mega caps, the economy, and interest rates all on the investment committee's mind. Joining me for the hour today, Josh Brown, Shannon Sakosha, Bill Baruch, Jim Lebenthal. Check the markets where we do have a little bit of a deterioration happening in the NASDAQ, as the guys were just saying. We're red across the board. The Russell's higher today. Very much a focus on yields as well. That 5% level on the 10-year. We'll keep watching that. But Josh, I'll go to you. I mean, it is really good, bad, ugly. GDP was strong. PCE was lighter. Rates back towards 5%. You've had weak stock reactions to some pretty good earnings, and then the ugly being the obvious. What's going on with mega caps? Alphabet down, Meta down, Microsoft now down, Apple, Sarah was just talking about, now below 170. How do you size it all up here?
Going higher, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like weird. It's a day where you have like this bizarre strength in small caps. Doesn't really appear to be apropos of anything in particular. You're probably going to get favorable PCE data on the inflation front. But I think the big takeaway, and we talked about this on Tuesday, Judge, the first thing is that it's probably better if you're a trader to take advantage of an earnings move post than to try to anticipate going in. because what a lot of these situations have in common is the earnings are great. And then you get this punishing reaction. So it's almost like even if you knew the earnings would be great, you didn't know how the crowd would take it. Now we know. And I think the second thing I want to say, I think the big thing here, the takeaway is the rallies on cost cutting and the quote unquote year of efficiency that some of these companies have declared are over. Now show us the growth, not just last quarter's growth. Give us the growth outlook that we want to hear, or we're taking some multiple points off that stock. And you're seeing that really across the board. You're even seeing it away from tech. So I think that is the real risk for investors going into these next couple of weeks of reports. There are some big ones still out there. Obviously, Amazon tomorrow. I'm thinking about NVIDIA. Will anything they say be enough, to keep the stock where it's already gotten to? So I think it's a really tough earnings season, not because of the earnings themselves, but because of that reaction.
I think those are really good points that you make. By the way, I should let all of you know that we just scored an interview with Brad Gerstner, an exclusive with Brad Gerstner. He's going to come on in a few minutes to talk about Meta and the reaction, and reminding all of us really that it was a year ago, almost to the day,
that you could have
where he wrote that letter to Mark Zuckerberg, the open letter, calling for more efficiency. So he's going to join us. We're going to talk about all of that, and we'll share more of that with you in just a moment when Brad Gerstner's with us, and we can talk really about where this tech trade is going overall as well. Shan, Josh makes good points. Blowout reports in many cases, and the stocks are not following through. I said yesterday that, the worst nightmare for the bulls is you have rates backing up yet again and mega caps selling off substantially, even on pretty good earnings reports. We got a problem with that? I mean, what's going on?
Those coincident factors are certainly a challenge.
Yeah.
If you think about what we're facing, and I think the cost cutting that Josh was talking about is really important because it goes beyond the ability to insulate the business for 2 or 3 quarters. It goes to what happens in 24 and 25 so that we can recapture the margin that has been lost over the last couple of years. And I think that, it does require growth, but it also requires mix. You have to be in the right place at the right time. And I think what we're seeing is that if you look at Microsoft in terms of cloud, they're getting a boost, a bump from AI.
Microsoft might be
you
a good
look at
trade,
Alphabet,
guys.
They're not getting that same boost, and so we're talking about optimizing spend. I think when we look at what's happening in the environment, if we didn't have rates where they are today, I think we're going to be seeing a little bit of a different reaction to some of these tech earnings. But again, this is what we anticipated. There is no catalyst right now for a ceiling on rates. And until there is one, until there are implications in the market that either the Fed is done or the Treasury is going to back off of issuance, it's going to be really difficult for any specific stock report to turn the tide.
Jimmy, we needed, right? You figure you're coming in, you need mega cap to counteract, if you will, the move that we had in rates. It's the whole neutralizing factor to rates going up if you're a bull like you are in the market. The other problem now is that I love the way that Joe put this yesterday, the Magnificent Seven becoming the Magnificent Five. Okay, take another one off the list. Now it's the Magnificent Four after Meta has a really good report. We're talking about the stocks, okay? Stock goes down. Are we going to be talking now about the Magnificent Three because now we have to take Apple off the list? In other words, you can't take them all off the list. Not with all of the things that are out in the market right now.
Okay, I take your point, absolutely. And I think, though, that it's actually beyond the Magnificent 7, 5, 3, 2, 1 blast off, or whatever you want to say it's going to be, because all stocks really are performing badly right now. This is a heavy tape. Folks, the sentiment out there stinks. And if you ask me why that is, it's what Scott said. It's interest rates. Now, we can talk about the Middle East. Historically, geopolitical military confrontations do not cause the stock market to go down in this sort of direction and with this sort of magnitude. And I don't think it's the looming threat of a government shutdown or even the circus in the House of Representatives. I think this is squarely on interest rates. Interest rates being as high as they are is too much for earnings, no matter how good they are, to power through. So where that leads us to is, how long are they going to be this high? Are they going higher? And for that, it still, in my opinion, rests on the Fed, and the Fed rests on what's going on with inflation. Tomorrow's PCE matters to me. I know it's an old, I'm tired of saying that, guys. Folks, I'm really tired of saying it. Shane and I had a little sidebar.
You can't be dismissive. It sounds like you're a little dismissive of the macro. which, you know, if Meta's CFO is talking about uncertainty regarding the macro, then we need to pay attention to the macro, despite the fact whether you think it's legit or not. It seems to be having an impact.
I am so glad you brought this up, and I had a robust discussion inside my firm today with my analyst community, and they said the same thing, right? The macroeconomic data, like last week's retail sales or this week's weekly jobless.
I'm talking about
Let me just finish.
Middle East, geopolitics, the uneasiness to open up and spend a lot of money.
There's
with
your
a lot of
breakdown on Meta, guys.
There is a discrepancy between what the data is saying and what the companies are saying. All right, and I certainly did not miss what Meta said last night. I certainly did not miss it. Okay, there's two explanations for this. One, the data is lagging. We know that the big macro aggregate data is lagging, but to the point about Middle East and the volatility, that is likely to be temporary. However, in this environment where you've got Middle East hostilities, where you've got Ukraine war still going on, where you've got a circus in Washington, D.C., it is highly unwise for CFOs or CEOs to come out and be ebullient on the demand environment. They're taking too much risk. But when you look at real-time data like TSA traveler count, I mean, it's extraordinary high. People are not.
That's not going to dictate what this economy as a whole does, because people are on airplanes. I'm sorry, but there's just a lot of other factors. You can't constantly go back to TSA numbers and butts and seats.
Scotty, hang on. Scotty, I don't disagree with you. That's why I also look at weekly jobless claims, and I'm telling you, the labor market is the most important thing.
I agree.
Okay, thank you.
I don't disagree on that.
It's the most important thing. So I hear you on TSA being too specific. Hear me also on weekly jobless claims. I'm done.
All right, I think there's all making some really great points. And I think the macro is important. When we get down granularly with the data, I think the Fed is about to get a gift. We just had GDP today, 4.9%. The Atlanta Fed expected 5.4. So it was above analysts, kind of right in the middle. But that's a backward-looking number. We're expecting 2% in Q4. And not only that, I think culturally, we've seen an evolution of how money is being spent. All summer long, all year long, corporations are spending money. There's events. There's people are going out to happy hours. There's conferences. There's a lot of money that's being spent tied to services and underpinning services. I think a lot of these experiences, travel starts to change as people hunker down for the holidays. Not only to mention, retail sales has been very poor November and December, each of the last 2 years. As this shift takes place, because people aren't spending money in the holidays like they have, they're now hunkering down with family. And I think we'll see slowing growth, maybe
I think
below
Netflix
2%
has
in the
Got to
Fed.
be a short,
we'll really
guys.
like that. And that and tenure gets to 4%.
You're going to get a bounce here,
the show, and I know big tech is on everybody's mind.
That's
the
the
central
trade
question
of the day
as to
right
whether
there.
the market has a bigger
Netflix.
problem or not is whether people buy the dip.
Unbelievable.
You heard Stephanie Link yesterday telling us she bought Alphabet
That sucks.
on the pullback. She's been telling you that she's been trimming
That
Meta
sucks so
into the
bad.
print.
It's already
Now we get
made
the
the
results.
move.
The stock's down. Steph joins us now, of course, with Hightower, the chief investment strategist there, a CNBC contributor and a committee member. So, Steph, first thought to my mind was like, I know Link. She's probably buying Meta today. She's probably buying it on the dip because that's how she rolls. Are you doing that?
Yeah, well, I am very tempted. I'm just going to let it settle for a couple of days, but this is definitely a better buy than a sell for sure. I mean, look, the quarter was outstanding. It was offset by the cautious commentary about the geopolitics and also very high expectations. The stock was up 141% into the print. But they just beat earnings. They grew revenues 23%. Operating margins were the best in 2 years. So you have year of efficiency and you have growth. By the way, I mean, Reels going neutral to revenues, that no one thought that was even possible 6 months ago. So that was a real highlight. And Reels actually drove 40% of engagement for Instagram. You have Advantage Plus at a revenue run rate of $10 billion. You have AI increasing engagement 7% to Facebook and 6% to Instagram. So AI is certainly helping. They are monetizing it. I think this is in early innings, and that's the reason why I'm more of a buyer than a seller. But I understand that the stock is crowded. I think all the FANG stocks are crowded. That's what the reactions are telling you. But this is not a fundamental problem. And if anybody wants to chip away at the guidance was fine. Revenues were a little bit wider because of the uncertainties macro. I think that's very prudent. It's still going to grow double digits for next year. And the things that they can control, which is expenses and CapEx, that was lowered. Both were lowered. And that's exactly what we wanted to see. So you have a strong product cycle story, many different products. You overlay that with AI, and you have a stock trading at 14 times, as well as a company that is committed to keeping the cost pressures down.
I hear you.
Yeah, it's better buy than sell.
I hear you. It all makes perfect sense. The problem with all of that is that it might not matter, because if you have a different kind of market now where everything you said is true, and Microsoft had a great report, and the stocks are still going down, that's telling of a different kind of market.
Well, there was an elephant in the room.
For now, for now, Scott, for now, absolutely. But fundamentals will eventually matter. And the fundamentals of this stock, Meta, was so much better than. It was better than Alphabet, but I bought Alphabet because I thought that was absolutely ridiculous, because 80% of their business is advertising, not cloud, and it acted like it was the reverse. And so Meta, I think, there's no blemishes whatsoever on this quarter or the guide. It was just a cautious commentary. So it will matter at some point. But again, it's up 141% on the year. And that's why you got to let some of the froth out, let all the panic selling be done with. But I'll be back in if the stock falls materially from here.
Yeah, you let us know, Steph. I appreciate you coming on and talking about this. We had to hear from you today, just given your history with Meta. That's Stephanie Link of Hightower. I mentioned we do have Brad Gerstner joining us. He is here now, the Altimeter founder and CEO. It's good to catch up with you. Another person I think we had to hear from, Brad, today, because let's remind people as well, as I hold this in my hand here, a year ago on October 24th is when you wrote that now famous letter to Mark Zuckerberg, in which you said, quote, "I'm sharing an open letter strongly encouraging Meta to streamline and focus its path forward. Too many people, too many ideas, too little urgency. That lack of focus," you write, "and fitness is obscured when growth is easy, but deadly when growth slows and technology changes. You lost the confidence of investors." Have they gained the confidence back? Have you?
Absolutely. As I've said throughout the year, Scott, I can't believe that was only 12 months ago. And thanks for having me on. Remember, it was last December, a couple months after we wrote the letter, that Mark first declared it the year of efficiency, discipline, and rigor. And has he delivered? Imagine a year ago thinking that they could reaccelerate the top line of the business while doubling free cash flow from 18 billion to 35 billion. And at the same time, let's talk about efficiency. He and Elon Musk stand atop the heap of efficiency. They've reduced headcount 24% year over year, from 85,000 to 65,000 employees. Find me another large company in Silicon Valley other than those two that can demonstrate accelerating top lines while also reducing headcount and getting more fit. So we give Mark an A. There's work yet to be done. I think we have goodness yet ahead. I think the year of efficiency is going to be brought forward to Reality Labs in 2024 and 2025, where they will either have to demonstrate return on the investments they're making, or I suspect that Susan Li and Mark Zuckerberg will also begin to trim there. So for us, although we see a pullback in the market today, a year forward, reflecting on that last year, there's no doubt that they deserve an A. And Susan Li, in her first year as CFO, has done just an outstanding job.
I'm going to ask you to be immodest for a moment and say, what role do you think your letter ultimately played from getting from there to here?
All the credit here goes to Mark Zuckerberg, Susan Li, and the team. But I do think that the idea of fitness and efficiency, right, we were one of several calls really to usher that in Silicon Valley. And as I said at the time on your program, this was an open letter not just to Mark Zuckerberg and Meta. This was an open letter to all of Silicon Valley. For the companies that have gotten on the right side of efficiency and fitness, right, they're doing a great job like Meta is. But there are still companies that didn't heed the call. And for those companies, they've had a really tough year, and they will continue to have a tough year because the market's only going to reward those companies that get fit, that accelerate the top line while collapsing layers in the organization. The age of excess ended well over a year ago. And I give a lot of credit to Mark Zuckerberg for leading the way. Efficiency is now the lexicon of Silicon Valley. And he deserves a lot of credit for that letter he wrote in March to make that happen.
Yeah. So Meta's your biggest position now. What does your overall exposure look like as we have this conversation today?
Well, Scott, as you know, because I think I was on your program, at the start of the year, we had a very contrarian positioning. Remember, the Mike Wilson consensus around a hard landing had everybody in a very nervous positioning. We were 93% net long at the start of the year. So that's very long for our hedge fund. Over the course of the year, and more recently over the course of the last 8 weeks, we've had to manage around new realities. A 10-year approaching 5%, and of course, the tragic war in the Middle East. Our net exposure today is about 48%. So we put on more hedges over the course of this period of time. We've reduced some of our exposure in the long book by selling calls and doing other things. But this is just prudent risk management. I think when we look over the course of the next 2 to 4 years, right, these technology names, remember, Meta today is trading at about 15 times earnings. Compare that to Walmart or compare that to Nike that are trading at 23 and 25 times earnings for half the growth rate, respectively. That doesn't make any sense. And over the course of the next couple of years, we're going to continue to see this dispersion where companies like Meta, companies like Google and Microsoft outperform those companies that simply don't have that durable growth and margin expansion.
Let me ask for your guidance for our viewers on where you think in the more near term that these stocks are going to trade and what the message is to you of these markets that despite everything you said about Meta and what others have said about Microsoft and on, that these stocks are trading really poorly, even in the face of good earnings for the most part. What's the message in that we need to take from it?
Well, I hope the message that Chairman Powell and the Fed take is that enough is enough. We've got a war in the Middle East. We got deteriorating, consumer behavior, whether you look at business tickets that are being booked on airlines, whether you look at consumer credit card delinquencies, car loan delinquencies, now corporate debt starting to turn over. We have 20% credit card loans, 10% car loans, 8% mortgages. The economy doesn't need any more of this. They accomplished their objectives. And so the market is voting today. The market's voting that there's almost no chance we have a rate hike in November or December. And there's an 85% chance that we'll see a rate cut by June of next year. Even the Fed itself projects 2 to 3 rate cuts next year. So I think we're at the end of the rate hiking cycle, though the market has yet to price that in, right? The 10-year is still at 4.9. We just got a super hot GDP print today. So as a market manager, you have to take into account these risks. The future is unknown and unknowable. But the most out of consensus view today is that we can have a softer landing, that we can still have economic growth next year, that we can still have great performance out of these companies, while at the same time seeing inflation come down and rates come down. And just think about that coupled with a resolution to the inhumane crises going on in either the Ukraine or in the Middle East. So yes, those are unknowable, but I think there's at least as much chance that that can occur as that we're going to see rates much higher from here.
Can we agree with the comment that yes, over the long term, these are the companies that you want to be in. They have the growth rates that are going to be at the forefront of where investors want to, get alpha in the market. But can we also say, okay, I agree with all that, but tech can still be overextended and these mega cap stocks can still be too rich from a valuation standpoint? How would you assess that?
I just think, look at the facts, Scott. NVIDIA is trading at a fraction of the multiple it was over the course of the last 2 years. It's trading below 25 times earnings. That's at the same multiple as Nike and Walmart, and it's generating 50% earnings growth, and it's the beginning of the AI super cycle. Meta, which just posted, 100% gain year over year in free cash flow, is trading at 15 times or 16 times earnings compared to 23 or 25 for those companies. Now, I'm not picking on those companies. I'm just saying that valuation disparity makes little sense to me when you have companies that are going to have a more significant role in our lives in the future versus companies that are serving us in the offline world. And so, I think that you're going to see a reversion to the mean, of course, here in the short run. I told you, we've taken our risk from 93% to 48% net exposure. So we anticipated that this was going to be choppy. There would be some consolidation. But I don't think you can say this is frothy. I don't think you can say these are overextended. In fact, we've seen multiple compression in technology this year, not multiple expansion. The stocks have gone up a lot because the pricing we came into the year with, the expectations we came into the year with, proved to be dramatically wrong. Both Facebook and NVIDIA ended up earning far more this year and growing far faster than the consensus earnings expectations at the start of the year.
Josh Brown has a question for you, Brad. Josh, go ahead.
Hey, Brad, getting away from shorter-term earnings concerns, just strategically speaking, is Reality Labs make or break for Meta's longer-term shareholders? Meaning they have been under the thumb of Apple vis-a-vis the App Store. A third of all of Facebook's profits and Instagram's profits are getting kicked upstairs to Cupertino. If Meta gets the next technology supercycle right on the device side, and they actually own the hardware opportunity, that's a very different future than the one in which Apple's goggle product becomes the de facto standard, and then Meta is just one app trying to, elbow its way into that. Like, it's almost like a fork in the road. Do you feel it's that important? And if so, how high of a probability would you assign to Meta getting the hardware opportunity right?
No, Josh, I don't think it's a fork in the road. I don't think it's that important at all, which is why I wrote in the letter a year ago that he should double down on AI and that he should quarantine the bet on Reality Labs to $5 billion a year. Listen, Mark Zuckerberg is more of a visionary than me when it comes to whether or not these new platforms will dominate the future. But Meta's success doesn't depend on it at all. I encourage everybody to, on WhatsApp, 2 billion people using WhatsApp every month. And now they've launched a ChatGPT equivalent where I can have an AI chat directly in my WhatsApp on things like what the best hotel is on the west side of New York. And I can ask them if there's availability and what the price is. They've given me a personal assistant in my pocket. That is here today. That is monetizable today. Much like people said that Reels couldn't catch up with TikTok, it has. They said Reels couldn't monetize, it has. I think that what they're doing in AI to compete for the top of the funnel by giving us all a personal assistant, that I'm highly confident in. It's a massive new and expanding TAM for them. It allows them to challenge Google at the top of the funnel, just like ChatGPT is. And this new platform I view as a call option on the future. And I encourage the management of the company to continue to bring their efficiency, discipline, and rigor to Reality Labs, right? And make sure that the investments that we're making are quarantined. We're earning a return on those. And this year, we didn't see much of a pullback in terms of the spend. But I think over the next 1 or 2 years, if we don't see monetization out of Reality Labs, hopefully we're going to see more efficiency.
I want to ask you before I let you run, Microsoft and Alphabet, did the results this week underscore the positions that you've taken on both? How are you impacted or moved by what you heard from both?
Well, I think both of these names, again, incredible companies generating terrific growth. In the case of Microsoft, reacceleration in Azure. It's incredible. They have over 17,000 customers already using Copilot. And while people were, I think, a little bit nervous about their growth rate in Azure XAI, if you look at it, they're maintaining 26% growth on a $60 billion ARR business with expanding margins. So I think what Satya, Amy are doing at Microsoft is incredible. It's the future of AI. They're going to win, continue to win the enterprise. And they own, as everybody remembers, half of OpenAI, which, we now see valuations over $80 billion there. So they're well positioned against the future. In the case of Google, as you remember, I've come on the show and I've said that Google to me is not about the cloud. Google is about search. It represents over 100% of their profits. The future of the company is dependent on the future of search. Today, Google is trading at a valuation that I think it makes it look very interesting, very compelling. We don't own it today. The risk to the top of the funnel at Google is that Meta AI, ChatGPT, and others compete for those consumers in answering the question. Scott, I was in New York a couple weeks ago at the Javits Center talking to 1,000 people, and I asked the